Starting now. Hello, everyone. Welcome into episode 30 of Subeg's Garden. On this very special episode, I got the one and only. I'm just gonna throw you in right away. I got the one and only Solo the Don The Otaku. How you doing today, my friend?
What it do? It's your boy Don Otaku, aka Don Solo, aka Solo the Don, aka Solo D Swaggy, aka Kakarot's cousin.
Kakarot's cousin, huh? R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Akira.
R.I.P. Toriyama.
That's crazy. That's you know what's funny? I actually see. You know how that day when he passed, like so much stuff was like floating around like on Twitter about like Akira and his work and all that. A lot of rappers were coming up on my Twitter feed, and like there was so many Dragon Ball bars that I was seeing. My favorite one was saying the dude said, "This cat Karat in the trunk or in the freezer." I was like, ooh. That shit was fire, bro. I was like, I'd never heard of like the wordplay like that, you know, this Kakarot shit was fire. Anyways, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing perfect. Glad to be on the show. This actually my first guest appearance.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, you got the first guest appearance of Don Otaku.
Fire. Yeah, so I'm glad to have you on. I'm glad you're doing great, my friend. And I'm so excited to talk to someone that knows, just for a little bit that I've been listening to you. I know that you know a lot about the industry, the video game industry and all that. So it's exciting for me to talk to someone that actually like knows a lot about, you know, the big three. And that goes into the main topics of the episode today. I don't know if you've seen the doc, but the main topics I got is, yes, sir. The topic I got is, the main segment is the future of the big three. So we're going to go through Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation. I don't know if you've seen, I also gave you a little segment too. So there's going to be a segment for you. And then segment 3 is going to be the top 5 most influential game franchises. And then we can also talk about what we've been playing. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds perfect.
Awesome. And then for every guest that I have, I give them an optional warm-up question. So my friend, take it or leave it.
All right. So let's see. Warm-up question?
Yeah, you taking it or leaving it?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking it. Oh.
Let's go. All right. So here's the question. In a hypothetical world, you are given the chance to be in charge of one of the big three. Which one would you pick and what would you do with them?
All right. So for me, you know, I'm the Nintendo fanboy for sure, but I'm not gonna take Nintendo because that'll be a little too easy. I'm literally just gonna say, keep doing what you're doing. Make sure that Switch 2 got backwards compatibility. Make sure that you actually call it a Super Switch or Switch 2. Don't mess up the name. That's the only thing that's gonna make the next console flop is the name.
Mm-hmm.
And they just need to make sure that they keep on getting these like Fortnite's, Minecraft's, the big ones. As long as they have those on there and they keep putting out the same quality, the same cadence of games, then they're set for the next generation. So I don't need Nintendo because they got it. Hopefully.
That's my
so
pick,
I'm gonna go with the one who probably needs the most work. But they have the most potential, which is Xbox.
Okay. So you're picking Xbox.
Yes.
All right. What would you do? What would you do with them?
So first things first, the entire marketing division, I'm going through. I'm finding out the receipts of who did what, when, and why, and how, and I'm cleaning house.
Okay.
I'm poaching PlayStation. I'm just going to the like honestly, we just got to go to the best, bro.
Yeah.
And when it comes to marketing, we know who's the best. We know why PlayStation has been at the top, even when they're doing something wrong, when they're backpedaling, when they're on the back foot. Their marketing always comes through where they will end up on top no matter what.
100%.
So I'm poaching the talent from Sony bringing them over here, they know what they're doing when it comes to marketing. Because when it comes to marketing, Xbox is always putting their foot in their mouth. They're always
on the defensive,
missing opportunities. They're never capitalizing on things that they could have.
Yeah.
So I need that part of the Xbox division to be on point first and foremost.
Okay, so you're first cleaning house that marketing and like that PR division. You're you're improving that first, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that is their main faults right now is their marketing and stuff. 100%.
And then I don't know how much money it's going to take. The localization division. That localization division, if they even have one, because it don't seem like they do. Whatever it takes to match Nintendo and Sony, where every single region should have, like, the biggest regions. Like, I feel like I always see some kind of petition every time a new Xbox game releases.
Yeah, the main ones like Korea, right?
Yeah, Korean, Arabic, because they have audiences out there.
Yeah.
Especially since they release everything on PC. So it's not like they don't have an audience just because they don't have Xboxes there. Their games still reach people through PC. So the biggest fault for them, especially in Europe, which we actually did see that they were down like 40-something%.
Yeah.
Just because it's because they don't localize their games. They don't market in these regions. So the biggest fault to Xbox is that they need international appeal. They're losing so much ground when it comes to these other countries outside of literally US, UK, Mexico, other Hispanic countries.
Yeah, Brazil, maybe.
Yeah, but like they're losing so much ground in like every other part of Europe and other countries, especially in Asia, that needs to be, that should have been like, as soon as they started trying to go for all this Japanese support, they should have, instead of just only focusing on Japan, they should have been focusing on everybody worldwide. Yeah. So we need the international support. We need them to actually start marketing and translating their games for those regions on day one. Yeah. So there's that. The games department, honestly, I really don't have that much worry as they are now. Now, first things first, the whole multi-plat thing, we already know that those first 4 games is not the only 4 games. I'm gonna be like, Phil, you did good so far. Satya, I'm not gonna lay down like Phil did. We're not doing this. We cut it off right there. Like, this is it. These 4 games, we're not gonna let this happen. So if I want to be number one, I'm gonna stop. It's over for Nice Guy Xbox.
Yeah, you got to be cutthroat, right, to be number one.
Nice Guy Xbox is over. So I'm gonna make Minecraft 2
exclusive to Xbox or
exclusive. Minecraft 2
Battle Royale. No, I'm just kidding.
It's gonna have the 4K. That 4K update, the super duper graphics pack that we never got on Xbox. And that's what's gonna be Minecraft 2. All content is gonna carry over, but it's gonna have new physics engine, I don't know. We're gonna let Mojang handle that. I'm not the developer, but it's gonna be worth the Minecraft 2, and everything is still gonna carry over.
That'll get people hyped. I will say that. That will get people hyped.
And only on Xbox. Only on Xbox. And PC. We'll let PC have it too. But
Nintendo?
Only on Xbox and PC. No Nintendo, no PlayStation. No Sega Dreamcast 2. Nobody's getting it except for Xbox.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of Sega.
Yeah.
Rebrand Xbox in Asia under Sega.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You
put
think
the
that
Sega
would
name.
save? You think that would save that? Save like their
So
division in Japan, in Asia.
I think it would do better than Microsoft Xbox. That's for sure.
Yeah, because Sega's
And
an inherently Japanese company, so I feel like they would take to it a little more. But
and even though
go
it's
ahead.
like Sega as a console doesn't have, it's not gonna ring any nostalgia for these kids of Japan today. If they I would say they should make a handheld first.
Okay.
Whenever the Xbox handheld comes out, you rebrand that as the Sega Game Gear X.
But that's assuming that they would have acquired Sega at this point, right?
Not even that, because we actually saw in the court documents from the ABK trial that even before they acquired Sega, they wanted to partner with Sega to brand the Series X in Japan as a Sega. Yes.
Huh.
So, and that's what really gave me the idea of doing that. I thought that was a missed opportunity for them that they didn't.
So what would have they called the Xbox in Japan then? You know?
I don't think they ever threw out a name.
Okay.
But they just said that they wanted to brand the console under Sega in certain markets. Which
Sega,
that would have been
Sega
huge
Dreambox.
Yeah, would have been, honestly, that would have been a great idea. I don't know what the logistics is of why they didn't do it, but I feel like they would have been doing so much better in Japan if that would have happened.
Because it's still well, I don't know if like Sonic is a household name, but I do know like Sega, no. They're still pretty big out there, I would say.
Yeah, Phantasy Star, obviously Persona,
yeah, that's Atlas though.
Yeah, Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yakuza used to just be like the niche. Oh, only in Japan, but now I think it's as big over here in the West as it is in Japan now. Yeah, they still have some IP that ring over there in Japan. I feel like they're really starting to get more buzz in the West than in Japan now. But I still feel like the name Sega, just alone, like the brand of Sega, still has
some power to it, right?
Yeah, it still has some power compared to Xbox, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so you're picking the hardest one to try to make like better is in Xbox, I would say. You want to hear mine?
Oh yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I'm all about. I love basketball, so I kind of try to bring like a basketball mindset to things. And you know how in basketball, like some defenders, they like slouch off, like they try to like beg the shooter to shoot, right? And like sometimes they don't shoot it. And in my opinion, that's kind of like if you're given an easy bucket, then you should take the easy bucket, right? So my pick, saying all that, my pick is Nintendo because I feel like they have the easiest, like just like easiest buckets, like go to like 1-2 moves, you know, like they like it's not too like complicated for them in my opinion. Like their path is laid out as long as they stick to it. As like you said, as long as they stick to it, then like they're gonna be great. But like I said, easy buckets does not mean that like I'm gonna be like a coward about this. This doesn't mean like we're gonna be scared, but it's more so having like a mentality of like we take what we can get. You know what I'm saying? But like the first thing I would do with them is I know the Switch 2's power level or like the how powerful the component's gonna be. I know it's already kind of like stated, so I'm not gonna change anything like that. But I would do is I would implement like some more backwards compatibility stuff like what Xbox did with FPS boost and like the Hochi method 4K updates to the older games. I would do that so it would give new life to the older Switch games. Because I feel like, honestly, I don't think that the Switch 2's library is really going to be there on day one. So I'm saying like this is what I would do to start with, just so like we can get like the people that didn't play Tears of the Kingdom or the people that didn't play Breath of the Wild or, you know, those older games, we can get them onto the new stuff and it'll play and run better. So that would be like the first thing I would do, but I don't know if they will do that. What do you think about that?
So that's actually part of the rumors that they do have some kind of
really?
FPS boost type method. No, I'm not. I don't believe those rumors. Um, I believe the specs because we've have databases. Um, we've literally seen like the schematics and like NVIDIA has like people have seen the specs of the T two thirty nine.
Yeah, 239. Yep.
The T 239. That came out of NVIDIA's database. So
Digital Foundry has a great
I'm
video
more
on that, by the way.
Oh yeah. So I'm more ready to believe the actual specs than I am to believe rumors of. But when it comes to backwards compatibility, at least for the most part, Nintendo has only missed out on backwards compatibility when it comes to changing the physical media. So when it went from the N64 to the GameCube, you didn't get backwards compatibility. But when you went from the GameCube to the Wii, from the Wii to the Wii U, and then again, when you went from the Wii U to the Switch, it went from disc to cartridge.
Yeah.
So they didn't do backwards compatibility. And then every single handheld has had backwards compatibility with the previous console. So as far as that goes, I'm pretty sure that they will have the backwards compatibility. Other than that, I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, it's good. It's good. The FPS boost thing.
Yeah. So as far as the FPS boost, I'm just more willing to not believe that Nintendo would actually like. I know Nintendo
put the time and effort into it, right?
Yeah, it's not even about time and effort. It's like they focus on. They usually don't focus on technical things like that. When the things that they focus on is gonna be something that's more gameplay driven, something more hardware driven, like on the player side and not on the technical side of things.
Yeah, like Labo or something like that.
Exactly. When you really don't see them doing technical advances when it comes to like things like the what Xbox was doing with FPS boost and resolution boost and all that. It's always been, oh, we have an IR blaster on the back of the controller. You're gonna use this on 2 games and it's gonna be great. So I just don't see them implementing it, even though they've seen that someone else is doing it. I still don't see them saying this is something that would be worth our time to add. But this is also the first console that we're getting outside of Iwata's influence. So that's one of the things that makes this new console a wild card. Because this will be the first time we get a console after Iwata's passing. And the new CEO, the new head of Nintendo, is a lot more of a more practical man than Iwata was. Iwata was a visionary.
He was more of like a game designer, right? Like that's his background.
Yes. So Furukawa is definitely on the more business side, but also he seems like he would do what I feel like he would do a lot safer than what something like Iwata would do with the new console.
Yeah, so you don't think there's gonna be no gimmick?
I think there will be a gimmick. I don't think it'll be a big gimmick. Like going from the DS to the 3DS. It'll be more like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like it could be like AR, maybe. Something like that. But that's assuming that like the thing has a camera on it.
So my big wish for the next Switch is a dockable VR headset. You know how we used to have like the Google Daydream and the Samsung Gear where you put your phone into the VR headset? I want something like that for the Switch. You just put your Switch into there, even if it's a little more low res.
Holy shit, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then it'll actually be dockable. Like you get the USB-C just like you would with the dock. Put it in there, it clicks in, and then you have full, like it's basically a wireless Meta Quest, and you just take off the Joy Cons, you use those as your,
Yeah,
like it already has the
wow.
motion controls and
Bro, you're
everything.
cooking right now. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Damn, bro.
there's some drawbacks because they would need
A more powerful system, right?
not even that it needs to be more powerful. They need a screen that's not 720p. They would need, I think when phones first started coming out with, I mean, when they started doing it with the Samsung phones, they were already at like close to QHD at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe not close to QHD, but it was like 1200p, somewhere around there. The PPI needs to be like 400, 500, not sub 300 like the Switch and the OLED.
And it would also need like a higher refresh rate, like display, right?
Yep, definitely high refresh, at least 90 hertz. And
OLED,
from the specs. Well, we know we're not getting that OLED. Not
we're getting that 3 years
least.
down the line for sure, though.
Yeah, but down. I as far as the specs, I don't think they ever set the resolution though. So, you know, that's the dream for me. If that's the only gimmick, because I've always felt like when it comes to VR, Valve was able to show what VR could do with Half-Life Alyx. Nintendo would really dominate, like really give you the most unique ideas of what VR and AR can actually do. Because when they just look at how they create, whenever they get hardware advancement on the first try, they find the best possible ways of using it.
I agree with you.
So when the N64 came out and they created the analog, on the first try you got Super Mario 64. And they showed what 3D gaming could actually be. Like when you compare it to Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation, where it's literally a side scroller, you're just going front to back instead of left to right. That's what people thought was like, oh, this is what 3D gaming is about. Super Mario 64 showed you what actual 3D gaming was about. When the Wii Sports came out for the Wii, the first game that you get with the Wii, they showed you what motion controls is really about and what you could do with it. That's why I feel that they need to get onto the VR train, and I feel like that would be the boost that VR needs.
Yeah, and even with the Wii U too, because they made a lot of games that, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but they made some games that utilized like the Wii U gamepad and like the screen, you know, like I know Star Fox Zero was one of them. I know that game is contentious a little bit, but you know, that's an example of them like throwing something out there, you know, like
if you ever played Nintendo Land on the Wii U, that was an amazing showcase for what the touchpad and the like the dual screen aspect of it could be. And that was one of the first games that came with it. Zombie U was actually a really good utilization, even though it was made by Ubisoft. That was a really good showcase for the Wii U gamepad, and being able to, like, you're literally running from the zombies and you're looking down at your gamepad trying to get your inventory, get stuff out of your inventory, like while the game is still running, things like that.
Yeah, no, they always, and shout out to Ubisoft too, because they're always there at like every launch of every system. Like even fucking the PS Vita, they made that Assassin's Creed Liberation game, like a fully 3D Assassin's Creed game. But yeah, no, that's, yeah. And another one, even like a little touch like in the Wind Waker HD, like being able to like look at the map and stuff without having to pause the game, like stuff like that. It's really good. They're really innovative, you know?
Yeah. As much as the Wii U flopped and people have their thoughts about if the Wii U was a good product, I always loved my Wii U. I loved everything about it. That gamepad, it was so hard to go back to just pressing start to go into your inventory, or like not like having to pause to do simple things that the Wii U pad you just had at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You were just like, oh, okay, I don't need to press start to go into my inventory. It just made everything more
Streamlined.
not immersive, but like it just took the tedium out of certain things that and it kept things going without having to worry about it, without like stopping the gameplay to do something.
Yeah. Without taking you out of like the game.
Yeah, that's a good way, taking you out of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that was the warm-up question. We got you picked Xbox, which is obviously that's going to be the hardest one to fix, but you know, that's a valiant fucking answer to that. You know, I thought you were going to pick PlayStation. I'm not going to lie, but you know, Xbox, that's good. That's good. I picked Nintendo. All right. Let's just jump into the first. We're already talking about the big three already, but let's go through one by one the future of the big three. My thoughts on this segment is we can like talk about. We'll go through each, talking about what their plans will be and like, or most likely will be, and then we'll talk about what we personally want from each. How does that sound?
Oh yeah.
All right. Which one? Good. Which one you want to do first? You get to pick Xbox, Nintendo, or PlayStation.
All right. I feel like we've already started with Nintendo, so we might as well just keep going with it.
Okay. You want to hear what I wrote about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So Nintendo, I wrote a little summary about each, in my opinions. So, off in their own La La Land and safe from most scrutiny, they have been making PS3 360 games for the past 7 years, but still find ways to innovate via gameplay and game mechanics. They have the clearest and most simple future, but do tend to struggle to find rhythm with games when given more powerful hardware, Wii U being a prime example. All right, Don, what's the future of Nintendo?
So, this is what like I believe is going to happen.
Yes, this is what you think will happen, yeah.
Okay. So, Switch 2 coming out March 2025. Launch games, Metro Prime 4, cross-gen, and a new 3D Mario, because the 3D Mario team has been silent for way too long.
Didn't they make that Kirby 3D game, or is that
no? That was HAL Laboratory.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so the last thing that the 3D Mario team did was Bowser's Fury, the add-on to Super Mario 3D World, but that was a 3 to 4 hour game. They didn't spend the entirety of this. It's been 7 years now since Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's going on 7 now. So they didn't spend the entirety of that time working on that 3 to 4 hour experience. But it was, I think that was the blueprint of where they were going next. It was kind of like the little soft demo of what they were about to do with the next 3D Mario. Because the basis of Bowser's Fury, if you haven't played it, is that this was the open world Mario.
Yeah.
And not open hub, open area like what we saw with Mario Odyssey. This was actually, you start here and then you can pick which world you go to, and you can do them in any order. So there's nothing gating you from going. So say you're playing Mario Odyssey and like you know you have to go to the prehistoric kingdom, and then you have to go to the New Donk City, and then you have to go to this. Like there's an order in which you do all of the worlds in Mario Odyssey. This was the first time where they were just like, go wherever you want. You can start at any of these, and you can do them in any order. And there was no hubs. There was no in between. It just seamlessly transitioned from one world to the other. Or there's not worlds because it was really small, but it was like sections, and you would get your your little coin or whatever it was, the star of that area. And then they would also have that emergent gameplay where Bowser would rise. I forgot what he was called.
You're kind of on like a time limit, right? Sort of.
Yes. And then he would emerge and then just start destroying everything, and you just had to hide behind bricks and other platforms to stop yourself from getting what is it called? The Godzilla, the roar.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's called.
I played very little bit of it. I did not complete that one. Still gotta get back to that. But okay.
Yeah, as a little like demo of what we can I feel like that was more of a little demo to let you know what they're working on next. But as that little experience is still a top tier 3D Mario experience for anyone who hasn't tried it out.
Yeah, and if my memory serves me correct, I believe if you docked it, that game was 60 FPS, and then if you played it in portable, it was 30. So that's also experimentation, right?
So they've done that with Fire Emblem Warriors, I believe, early on, or the original Fire Emblem Warriors. Not the Hyrule Warriors, but they've done that before where some games, when you dock it, you'll get a better resolution. I mean, better frame rate. Not many, though.
Yeah. But that just shows that it's they're pretty flexible when it comes to that sort of thing. That could also be that could also be kind of a gimmick, right? For the next Switch, maybe if you dock it, you get like a little bit more performance. Maybe there's like a DLSS that kicks in or something like that.
Yeah, so I do believe DLSS will be a dock only type of feature. I also feel like NVIDIA will play a lot bigger role in the development of the Switch 2 and in its software, because the original Switch's Tegra basically was just the X1 that was downclocked, basically straight off the shelf.
Yeah.
This is a lot more custom because we've seen the Tegra 234, which the 239 is based off of. Comparatively, they've made a lot more changes to it than they did with that X1 chip that they put into the Switch. So I feel like NVIDIA might play a bigger role in the actual technical aspects of this Switch, which would give them a better advantage, because I'm pretty sure NVIDIA saw how much money they were making with Switch, and they were like, "Oh,
yeah,
we just gave this is just off of us giving them like just off the shelf parts.
Yeah,
what happens if we actually gave them the tools like DLSS, the tools, our machine learning technology, give them something that's actually gonna put a little bit more juice into the processor than what Nintendo would probably do by themselves." So that's why I have a lot more faith in the technical aspects of the Switch 2. So as far as what you're gonna average in most games, so I feel like you're gonna get 70% of all third-party games that come to the PS5 and Series X.
I agree. Like the big ones, like Cyberpunk, like maybe Baldur's Gate, stuff like that.
I'm not even talking about games that are cross-gen with Xbox One and PS4. I mean, Series X and PS5 only games. We're going to get about 70% of that. If it's on PS4 and Xbox One, I think there's a good chance that as long as the developers are willing to port it, they will port it.
Yeah.
If they see that they will have some kind of success and it's easy enough, they will port their Xbox One and PS4 games, definitely. So you're gonna see those ports like you saw on the Switch, where we're getting like Batman Arkham, and just like random every time you go into a direct, you're like, ooh, what random port of a game that I already played that I'm gonna get this time. you're definitely going to see a lot of those, but I feel like 2026 and beyond, you're going to be seeing a lot more PS5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch 2 popping up in the trailers.
Yeah.
And that's going to be mostly because of definitely money. But a lot more because the diminishing returns of these games, of the power between Xbox Series X and, let's say, because the real bottleneck of the PS4 and the Xbox One were the CPUs.
Yeah. That's proven to be kind of the bottleneck this time around too, right?
Yeah. And we've seen with the Series S that even though you have a lower teraflops, even though teraflops really are not a good measure for power, but you see it has a lower teraflops than the Series X. I mean, not Series X, One X, the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
It's still more powerful than the Xbox One X because of that vastly upgraded CPU, higher generation GPU architecture, and memory. Those play into a bigger factor than just because you can make an Xbox One X and then upgrade that to 20 teraflops. It's still not going to do anything. It's still not going to run GTA 6.
Yeah.
You're not running GTA 6 on that.
Minimum 5 or maximum 5 frames per second. It's going to look like a slideshow.
So what really matters is that you need to... The Switch is definitely going to have an improved CPU over the last generation. It's going to be a lot closer to the PS5 and Series X.
Okay.
And that's what I think is going to play the biggest role. The one thing I have concerns on when it comes to porting games to the Switch 2 is going to be the RAM and the memory, because Nintendo loves skimping on the memory. They love skimping on the memory.
How much memory does the Switch have, if you know?
4 gigs.
4 gigs. So then they have to at least go double that, right? At the very least.
You would think that, but they were actually going to go with 2 gigs on the Switch.
What?
They were going to go 2 gigs on the Switch like they did with the Wii U.
Oh, no.
But then Capcom was literally like, no, we can't. Like, if you want the next Monster Hunter to run on this Switch,
we're
going to be 4 gigs.
Like, we couldn't even fucking port Dragon's Dogma 1 to that shit, bro. Like, come on.
So then they upgraded the RAM to the 4 gigs reluctantly.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So
they took third-party advice, huh?
Yeah, I don't know who. I'm glad that Nintendo trusts Capcom enough, and seeing the sales of Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, they made a good decision there.
Yep.
But yeah, I need someone to smack Nintendo around every now and then. Be like, we can't. Okay, Nintendo is the optimization kings. That's why they can have the most subpar hardware. They're gonna find a way to make those games look amazing for the hardware. They're gonna go above and beyond anything that any other developer can do on that hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why this new Switch excites me, because if they're getting if they can hit 4K, I just want to know, because their 4K
I don't think that's happening, bro.
Okay, not 4K native for sure.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, like upscaling with DLSS, or just outputting at 4K, kind of like the Xbox One S would output at 4K, even though the games were 1080p, 900p. As long as you can output at 4K, you don't get that blurriness when you put it on your 4K TV. And they have that extra juice. I just want to see what the next Zelda will look like then. The next Mario will look like then.
Yeah.
I keep getting distracted. I keep going off topic.
No, you good, bro. That's the conversation, man. That's the conversation. I let it happen, bro. I let it happen. I love it, actually. But yeah, do you think that Do you think that they will do like the next Zelda game like sooner, or do you think that they're gonna like try to port the like Tears and Breath of the Wild first and then go from there?
So if this FPS boost, whatever they call it, rumor is there, we're definitely. I think they're just gonna showcase that, like, hey, your same Switch copies, you'll be able to play them at 1080p, 60 frames per second now. And then they'll showcase like, oh, we upgraded the like textures and everything. But I don't think they're gonna do full remasters. If that's the case, that they have that.
Yeah.
If they don't, guarantee it. We gonna see. I don't know if they're gonna sell. They might sell it as an update, like a $10 upgrade type thing, like
I don't think
PlayStation
they'll
was doing.
do that. I think it's either you get it for free, or you're gonna pay $70 for the deluxe pack.
Because I believe they have backwards compatibility. So with me thinking that they're gonna have backwards compatibility, I don't think they can get away with saying, "Hey guys, here's Breath of the Wild HD." Yeah, like they're gonna have to be like, "Hey, we upgraded it for the Switch 2, $10 upgrade for these like for the new textures and all that." So I think they'll do it that way.
Okay.
But the first new Zelda that you're gonna see on the Switch 2 is definitely gonna be a remake or a remaster of some kind. We're not seeing a new like Zelda unless Grezzo decides. Grezzo is the team that did like Link's Awakening HD, the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask ports on the 3DS. So if Grezzo decides, hey, give us a shot at our own Zelda game, and they make their own 2D style Zelda, I can see that happening. But for the most part, I feel like we're just gonna see. So they already did. We're gonna get ports of Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess. That's been rumored forever.
Aren't they gonna do that on the Switch though? Or
they've been rumoring that was gonna happen for a while now. And they've been saying that it's been done.
Easy buckets, just aren't releasing. Easy buckets.
Yeah, layups. But I feel like maybe they were like, you know what? We have a Zelda game coming out. We don't need more Zelda. We don't need to burn them out on Zelda games. We just had Skyward Sword HD. We don't need like Tears of the Kingdom. They need some room to breathe. Let Tears of the Kingdom do what it does. We're gonna save Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD for the Switch 2 and drop it as a double pack. I doubt that, but that's what the rumors are saying.
Yeah. No,
I feel like double pack is gonna be $100, not $60.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're not gonna charge no. No, but you would think that they would maybe want to remake Twilight Princess, because that's like the next game in line that they haven't touched yet, right? Other than the HD port.
Technically, they skipped over Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
and went to Skyward Sword, but it wasn't even a remake at that point. Because they've only done like HD versions, just remasters.
Yeah.
The only ones that they remade were like Link's Awakening.
Well, you wouldn't count those 3DS ports as remakes, because they
I would say those are also remakes.
And then Wind Waker HD is kind of it's kind of a remake in the art style wise, I would say, but gameplay wise, it's pretty much the same, right?
Yeah, they did a lot more than what they do with Twilight Princess when it comes to improving the visuals and the lighting, and even making it more. I mean, the quality of life, especially with the boating. They definitely made a lot of improvements there.
But yeah, it is still more of like a remaster. Yeah, you're right.
Because I would say the Metroid Prime remaster, they could have called that a remake, because that was every single texture, even the camera angles of the cutscenes. They did all of that from the ground up. But they still called it a remaster because it was still the same game, besides them tweaking the controls and As far as the gameplay goes, it was literally still the same game.
Yeah.
But graphically, they remade that. So I feel like if we're gonna get any remake for the Switch 2, I think they're finally gonna do the big one, and it's gonna be Ocarina of Time remake.
From the ground up. That'd be crazy. That's another easy win, right?
They've been holding on to that one. The 3DS and Majora's Mask ports, they're like, we can finally do 64, like we can finally do 64 level Zelda games justice on a portable. You know, that's more of why they remade it there. This time they're gonna be like, what is, like, people love Ocarina of Time. We need to show them what it would be like on the in a modern scale now. Like they did with Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I did play the Link's Awakening one. That was good. That one was really good, actually. That was great. I even played on the 3DS. They had the what was that one called? The one where you could like shift into like the walls is like a 2D.
Oh, Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, that one. I even played that one. That one was really good too. Honestly.
You know what? I'm gonna take that back. We might get Link Between Worlds HD before anything else.
Hey, that would be a great game to port back, because it's a good game. That's a really good game.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Zelda. I'm gonna do my first year lineup of what I expect from the Switch.
Yeah, throw it out there. All right.
Day one launching with the console, new Mario.
Okay.
That's gonna be a day one.
New Mario game.
And if not the new 3D Mario, it's gonna be Mario Kart 10. And I'm saying Mario Kart 10 because they count Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game, as Mario Kart 9.
For real?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy. Okay.
So
new Mario something, right?
Yeah, Mario 3D or Mario Kart.
Okay.
Those are gonna be day one. And they want to get Mario Kart out as soon as possible just because look how much it sells.
Yeah.
And look how long it sells. It never stops selling.
Nope.
Every time someone gets a new Switch, they're getting Mario. Like, every other Switch that gets sold, Mario Kart is there with it.
Yep.
Even when it's not bundled, because they only bundle Mario Kart during the 3 months of the holidays. And somehow people are still buying the game every time they get a Switch.
Well, I mean, they're still supporting it, so they supported the hell out of that game. Because I think go ahead.
The crazy part is they didn't even add anything until 2021. Yeah, that's when they first started. Yeah, it came out in 2017. They didn't do anything with it for 4 years, and it was selling. And then they were like, you know what? This is literally our best-selling game. How about we just add some more content? Let's add 64 new maps or 48 new maps to make 64. So they were just like, it wasn't even like, we're just gonna get some extra Nintendo Switch Online subs.
Yep.
And or a $20-$30 extra fee on there. So they were like, yeah, this is just an easy win. Might as well.
Yep.
And then it was mostly remastered tracks or taken from Mario Kart Tour on the mobile.
Yeah.
They had like, I want to say 6 or 8 new tracks that were built from the ground up.
Okay.
So they didn't have to put too much effort into it, and I'm pretty sure they got a shit ton of those expansion pack subs and a shit ton of just $30 whatever it was, $25 or $30 for the DLC.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because they weren't going to put out a new Mario Kart, so they said might as well just do that, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this Mario Kart 10 has been done
for a while.
This Mario Kart, they were like, yeah, man, we're gonna release it as soon as Mario Kart 8 stops selling. When is it gonna stop selling? It's still not done selling. Okay, I guess we're just gonna save it for the next one.
Yeah, that's hella funny. This is a side note. Do you think that the Switch 2 will be capable of outputting 120 hertz?
No.
No?
No.
That breaks my heart,
Okay,
man.
no. It will be capable.
Okay.
Will any games actually do it? No. Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna upgrade to HDMI 2.0
Okay.
as like the base requirement. Because right now they're still at HDMI 1.4.
Yeah.
So they're gonna upgrade to HDMI 2.0 for sure, and it's gonna be capable of 120 hertz, not 4K 120, but like 1080p 120. And that's gonna be something that it can do. I don't think we'll see many games that do besides like 2D indie, maybe. I mean, I could be wrong. We might get Splatoon 4, and they say 120 hertz.
That's crazy. Imagine that.
They push when it's a competitive game. They definitely try to push for frame rate really hard. And even back on the 64, you would see 60 FPS games when no one else was doing it. Smash Bros 60 frames per second, F-Zero 60 frames per second. So when it comes to those fast-paced competitive action games, racing games, they always go hard when it comes to the frame rate. So I can see them just saying this will give us, like, this will make the game feel better, because they've known this from the jump. Frame rate just feels better. The more frame rate, the better.
Yeah.
When it comes to these type of games. So,
and I would say the art style that they use in the games, like, it does gravitate towards like a higher frame rate versus higher fidelity. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Now, the one disadvantage that Nintendo has had for so long, especially with the Switch, their networking. I don't know who. Someone needs to come in there. Nvidia, I don't know, like, if Nvidia was like, hey, we got something for y'all. Like, we put this specifically in this chipset so that y'all can have smooth online capabilities. You're not running your Wi-Fi at the lowest bandwidth possible. You're like, this is top of the line. Wi-Fi 7. We need Wi-Fi 7 because Nintendo needs to be a step ahead.
Something, right?
The PS5, the PS5 and Xbox Series X are like, the Series X is okay at Wi-Fi 5.
Yeah.
The PS5 is okay at Wi-Fi 6. Nintendo needs to be at Wi-Fi 7 to be on the same level of Wi-Fi 5.
Yeah.
So we need them to put the most latest networking chip in there. So yeah. So that's gonna be the launch games. One of the Marios.
One of the Marios and a Metroid Prime, right?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4. I don't think they're gonna do that launch day, but it'll be by the end of the year for sure. We're gonna get that Metroid Prime 4
for way too long, dude. Like, Tropical Freeze came out in 2014. They should have had a game out by now.
So they weren't working on it initially. Retro Studios.
Yeah.
It was Bandai Namco, one of their Singapore team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Bandai Namco was the one developing Metroid Prime 4. Then, remember, they delayed the game. They made the statement that it was delayed. They did a whole video on it. And then they said that Bandai Namco is no longer working on it. We're giving it to Retro Studios. So they've only been working on it since that was 2019, I believe.
Okay.
So they've been working on it for 5 years now. Was it 2019 or was it 2020? I can't remember.
It's all good. So it's been like 4 to 5 years is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's been 4 to 5 years since they actually started development with Retro, working on it. Because for some reason, Retro has been ducking Metroid Prime for a while. They were like, you know what? We're burnt out on Metroid.
They had to have been working on something in between Tropical Freeze and when they picked up Metroid Prime 4, right?
They had a few games that they were working on that Nintendo rejected.
So,
one. Oh, sorry, my dog's
Don't even worry
being
about it.
Weird right now.
What kind of dog do you have? A boy or girl?
It's a boy. I have a mutt,
Oh, okay.
and I have 2 right now, and then my girl's dog I have with me right now.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
I have 2 mutts. Don't know what they are. Like, I have a white dog that's like a Westie poodle mix, probably. And then I have a little Shih Tzu Chihuahua mutt. That's my girl's dog.
Oh, that's what's
Then
up.
I have
Cute.
this Dachshund mix, the baby.
Do they be fucking around with your electronics, or they be like letting it go?
No, they're pretty chill.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Even the youngest hasn't really. I haven't had any dogs destroy my electronics since my childhood dogs, which were pit bulls, destructive as hell. They just love chewing on stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I came home from school, went into my room, and then I just seen my dog on the bed, and then I just see my Game Boy Advance SP just demolished in pieces. I cried.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, this can't be.
Hey, bro, my Game Boy actually got fried too, but it's because I left it in my car. It was like the flat. It wasn't the SP. It was the one before that.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah. It had a backlight, but I left it in my car. It's hot as fuck where I'm at. So in the summertime, if you leave shit in your car, that shit, my screen was literally fried. Like I was like, God damn it. Sorry.
So yeah. So they were working. Okay, so Retro, they were working on a Star Fox racing game.
Ooh.
And I remember the rumors that was about to launch in like the first 2 years of the Switch. Everyone was talking about, oh yeah, the Star Fox racing game is from Retro is happening. It never came out.
Wild.
And then I don't think this is in the same generation, but they were working on a Legend of Zelda more action focused game.
Okay.
Like a spinoff that was more not like I want to say more platinum style action.
Like a character action game, huh?
Yeah. So they had, and I think they had a stealth Zelda game, also like stealth action. They had different ideas that never went through. So I'm pretty sure Nintendo was like, yeah, we're just gonna put y'all back to Metroid. This is where y'all belong.
Do you think they canceled their projects, or you think they're just on hold for now?
I think they're canceled.
That sucks, dude.
I think there's a reason that we haven't seen that Star Fox racing game, because from the rumors, you would think that they were almost done. So if it was almost done, I don't think that they would have just shelved it, and like with it being almost done, they would have worked on it, released it, then finished up Metro Prime, or at least had like a skeleton working on it while they were working on Metro Prime.
That's crazy. Yeah, so they were working on multiple projects then. That's the reports.
Or at least, I don't know if they were all at the same time, but there was multiple that they worked on in that time frame. So maybe they got to a point, showed it to Nintendo, they were like, no, then they worked on the other one, and then they were like, no again, and they got Metro Prime. So yeah, those are 3 games that I see in the first year.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because I don't want to get too far into like third party stuff. Because they're a lot harder to predict. But those 3 for sure, I'm gonna say are gonna be in the first year. I'm definitely gonna see some remasters and ports, or I'm gonna say remakes, because I don't think they're gonna try it. They're not just gonna do like a little port and be done with it. Something I do want to see that has been rumored is Kid Icarus Uprising remake.
Okay.
I definitely want that. I hope that is like a first year thing.
Sakurai? You think he's going to be on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sakurai, he teased it during one of his, he did the YouTube videos where he would talk about game development.
Yeah.
So he teased that. I definitely want to see something like that in the first year if we're gonna get any ports or remasters or remakes.
Yeah, that'd be a great one to bring back because they have that's still just sitting there. It's just sitting there.
Amazing
not doing
game.
It. Yeah.
Terrible platform to release it on.
Mm-hmm.
The worst possible platform you could have released that game on. I used to get cramps playing that game so much.
Yeah.
It was the most uncomfortable setup for a 10 out of 10 game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm just gonna do a fifth.
Yeah, go for it.
If I had to guess,
yeah,
in the first year we're gonna see. I'm trying to think who hasn't put out something in a while. All right. No, that can't be.
Were you thinking the Fire Emblem guys?
Yeah, well, first I was thinking Fire Emblem, but I was like, no, Engage.
Yeah, that came out.
I mean,
last year.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get Fire Emblem in the first year.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a new Fire Emblem though. We're gonna get Genealogy of the Holy War.
Okay.
Which is one of the most acclaimed Fire Emblem games of the old era, if I could say.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna say,
bro, those 5. That's a great launch lineup. That's better than what PlayStation had in the first 3. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't want a fanboy. I don't want to be a console fanboy right now. But okay. So
we got the launch lineup.
Yep.
We got the specs, the of what I think the Switch 2 is gonna be.
Yeah, I read. I actually watched a Digital Foundry video like recently just to refresh what could be the Switch 2. They're saying that the GPU is on the power of like a 3050. That's slightly downclocked. They said they don't know what obviously the RAM. They don't know how much RAM is going to be in it yet. I think it was Ledbetter. He said that he hopes that Nintendo gets 12 gigs, but it's most likely going to be 8.
12 is the dream.
Yeah, 12 is the dream, right? But it's most likely going to be 8, which brings it on par to the Series S. So that makes me believe that whatever game can run on the Series S will be able to run on the Switch 2.
That's literally what it just needs to be, in like an 80%, like 80% percentile of like 80% little window of the Series S.
Yeah.
If it's a little under, like if it's just 20% lower, they'll be able to get their games running on it.
Yep.
Because if you think about it, the 1060 is still being supported today.
Yeah.
If not the 1060, it's going to be the 1070 or the 2060 as the minimum requirement for most games today. So really, I'm not worried about the GPU or GPU. I'm only worried about the memory, and if they actually have fast enough like SSD, or if not SSD, at least have their flash memory on the level of an SSD. And I'm pretty sure developers have been giving them opinions of like, yeah, if you're gonna have a system, it needs to have this, like it has to have SSD today. Because now even on PC, SSD being required is something you see a lot now.
Yeah. Almost every game nowadays, it says like in the recommended specs to have an SSD. Yeah.
So I know SSDs are expensive. If they go, I definitely don't believe the rumor that it's going to be 64 gigs of memory. That would be so stupid.
For a handheld, yeah, I don't think so either.
But I mean, you see the Steam Deck, even if you get that 64, what is it, 128 or 64, whatever the lowest one is, and you get as long as they have some kind of slot to insert memory, insert that, not an SD card though.
Yeah.
I know you can run games on the Steam Deck with an SD card, but we need an actual SSD slot.
Yeah, that'd be the ideal thing, right? Having an SSD slot, easily put in something. Maybe it could be hidden with the stand. Maybe if you open the stand, you can slot an SSD in there.
Yeah, that'd actually be perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We got the specs down.
Yep.
Launch lineup of games. What else for the future of Nintendo can we talk about?
What is the few?
The
I
name?
mean, yeah,
Uh,
that's like the big main
that,
thing, right? Because
I wanted it to be Super Nintendo Switch so bad.
Super Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I feel like they know that everyone wants it to be called that at this point. Like they have to know that, right?
If I see new Nintendo Switch or Switch U or any character that isn't 2 or Super, I'm
Yeah,
gonna be so upset.
dude.
Or maybe, but then again, if the gimmick calls for it to not be called the Switch anymore, whatever they want to call it. I mean, if they find a gimmick where they can call it another thing, sure.
Hmm.
As
Yeah,
long as as long as they market it and be like,
properly.
hey,
Yeah,
this runs all the Switch games. This is the new Switch. This is new.
yeah.
This is not an add-on to your Switch. Show the console, Nintendo. Don't do what you did with the Wii U.
That'd be hella funny. The Super Series SU. Just combine all the names together. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, whatever the gimmick is gonna be, that's gonna be the name of the console, right?
I think they're still going to keep the Switch. I think it's going to be the 3DS. Like this is their 3DS moment, capitalizing on the success of something they've just adding one or two things to make it feel fresh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think we're still going to keep that Switch moniker. I don't know what they're going to add to it. It's going to be something that I'm just going to be like, oh, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, that's most likely what it's gonna be. It's most likely gonna be like unpredictable, but hopefully they just take the layup. Like I keep on saying, they just take the easy bucket. If the defense is giving you the mid range, take the mid range. Don't hunt for the three. You know, just keep it simple, and I think they'll succeed from there, right?
Yes.
All right. What do you want? What do we want? What do we personally want from the Switch? I already threw out 120 FPS. Like I want that for myself. What else?
And I already threw out the VR headset.
Yup, that's
dock.
great. That's a great. If Nintendo, if you're listening, y'all motherfuckers better do that shit. No.
I don't even care if it's mid. If you just added mid gen, if it's not at launch, added mid gen, like you did that VR cardboard. You'd be surprised. The VR cardboard, even though it's the stupidest version of VR you can ever have, somehow even on that 720p screen, it actually looks decent. Okay. I don't know how they did it, but like playing the VR kit actually kind of looked decent on that 720p screen. It was still blurry. I probably would get motion sick playing it for too long, but they somehow made it work. And that's why I'm more excited if they were to actually go full on VR with a new product, with a new generation.
Man, they should. If Nintendo jumped into the VR market, then I feel like then at that point it would blow up.
Oh yeah, for sure. They can mainstream any kind of hardware if they put their mind to it. They went all in on something.
Yeah, I agree. They always, shout out to LSM, but they always punch above their weight. They're always punching above their weight. And I think that's what I love the most about Nintendo. You do get the nostalgia from their games. Every time I play like a Pokemon game, I haven't played one in a while, but even just, walking in the grass, hearing that music, seeing your little Pokemon out there, like, just brings me back to a simpler time, right? And I think that's the beauty with Nintendo. It's they're great. They're great. They just gotta realize that they can't skimp out on their fucking hardware, hopefully, and they'll be fine.
I always say Pokemon. We disassociate Pokemon from Nintendo as much as Nintendo. Nintendo. It's only 33% Nintendo.
Yeah,
we gonna blame all the good parts of Pokemon that's that 30% that's Nintendo.
Okay.
The 67% of the bad, that's Pokemon Company and Game Freak. That's who we're blaming for that.
That's funny. That's Oh wait, also you forgot to mention Pokemon Legends ZA. That might
Oh
be
yeah,
a Switch 2 game.
that's definitely that's gonna be uh definitely year one. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
And that's actually the only Pokemon style games that I'm excited about.
The Legend ones?
Because the Legends series, because Arceus was the first time in a while that I actually got
Oh, your
new.
audio. Oh, sorry, your audio cut out there. What were you saying?
I was saying that yeah, the Pokemon Arceus was the only game on the Switch that made me excited to play, and that I actually felt playing a new Pokemon experience that was for the modern time.
Yeah. It was that was the last one I played too. I gave it away to my cousins though because I was kind of getting bored with it, but because it eventually just turns
It was bare
into
bones.
yeah, it eventually just turns into just a collectathon, right? You just got to collect all
Yes,
the
but
Pokemon.
as a concept, like as a first iteration, it definitely was a step in the right direction. And then Scarlet and Violet literally went 5 steps backwards. They took out the amazing animations that they did for Arceus. They took out the speed, where you could do like 2 fast attacks versus like a 1 powerful attack in a row. The speed meter was a pretty good way of kind of sprucing up the combat, the regular turn-based combat that every single Pokemon game has had. And then adding all of that plus the mega evolutions from the Kalos region, gonna be. I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually excited to see with that game too, for sure. But yeah, that's Nintendo. Is there anything else we got to add on with them?
Like we said, they have the easy layup.
Yeah.
They have the games. They've always had the games. As long as the quality of those games don't change, they basically have it in the bag. It's all up to how they market this console.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
And they can break the curse of every other console being like going from the Wii, which was their most successful, to the Wii U, which was their least successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to the Switch, go all the way, like literally up, down, up, down. Like the DS, 154 million. The 3DS sold half of that. So we can't have another of those. The Switch 2, Super Switch has to be on the same level, somewhere in the 100 million, be up there.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have them going down every time they drop something good.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
but I think the
this-
difference this time for them, this is the last point I'm gonna make. I think the difference this
Mhm.
time is that they will have a little bit more juice to their system, and I think that the third parties will want to like port more of their games on there. Like I said earlier, like I think Cyberpunk is probably gonna be like an easy one to get on there. You know,
they
even
got the
like
Witcher 3.
yeah,
They got the Witcher 3 on the regular Switch. I'm pretty sure they can get Cyberpunk.
yeah, exactly. Like Cyberpunk's probably gonna be like I think Baldur's Gate, any of the Game of the Year like contender games that were
Elden
like
Ring.
on the Elden Ring, exactly. That's another one. Dragon's Dogma 2 most likely will probably be on there. Hi-Fi Rush, like
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see that at launch.
yep, that's gonna be at launch. So
And we know Ubisoft will be there.
oh yeah,
If it's not a Mario plus Rabbids, they're gonna have something.
yes sir, of course.
I love me some launch title Ubisoft games.
Yeah, they experiment. You know, they try. They put their best foot forward. I think that's honorable. But yeah,
I feel like Nintendo's the only time where Ubisoft actually says, you know what, let's try something creative. Because that Star Fox DLC of Starlink, Battle for Atlas, is the best Star Fox content that we have gotten since Star Fox Assault on the GameCube. That was amazing. It was basically a Star Fox game, open world. You can fly out of the planet and go into deep space and then fly into another planet, like No Man's Sky. They did so much. And then like the fact that they integrated Star Fox.
Yeah.
They integrated Star Fox throughout the entirety of the game. They didn't just be like, oh yeah, Star Fox is just going to be a playable skin. No, Star Fox is working with the characters of Starlink on the Nintendo version. But if you play like the Xbox or PS4 version, they're like, you don't see is just like a regular, these random ass characters that no one cares about. But the Nintendo version is like, oh yeah, this is a Star Fox game where these random characters are backing him up.
That's crazy. That's another example of them like experimenting, right?
Yeah,
that's cool. All right, which one you want to do next, Sony or Xbox?
PlayStation, because I feel like Xbox. We're gonna go. I have a lot to say on Xbox's future.
Yes, sir. All right. Let me say what I've written about them. So for PlayStation /SIE, so I got PlayStation's short-term future is absolutely barren and are relying on paying for third-party exclusives to keep that we have high-quality games narrative going, all while trying to refocus their efforts into making more sustainable games. All right, Don, what's the future of PlayStation?
Now, if I was to channel my inner King David, there is no PS6. There is no future of PlayStation. But, you know, we're not going to go there today.
Yeah.
So in this hypothetical future of PlayStation, so is this still PS5, like the end of the PS5 generation we're talking about, or the next generation?
I would say let's keep it for the PS5 and then we can talk about the next after that. Yeah. So right now, the PS5.
So the PS5, I feel like 2025 is going to be their 2017 of the PS4. Maybe not on the scale where 2017 we saw what was it, the Ratchet and Clank remake, the Horizon Zero Dawn, what else was there in 2017? I know they had a lot. The Persona 5, where they just come out swinging.
Oh yeah, Persona 5 was, yep, that's one of the big ones.
In the West at least, because I know it was 2016 in Japan. But there's going to be their 2017 moment.
Gravity Rush 2.
Yes, Gravity Rush 2, the best PS4 exclusive that they had.
They had Neo 1 that year.
Love that game. So it's going to be, because PlayStation 4, even though just like in the PS5 era, everyone was like just reveling the PS4 and just saying, "Oh my God, this is the greatest console ever." Yeah, there's no first party games, but we got indies. You know, this Indie Station 4. We got the indies. Look at Resogun.
They had Pyre back then too.
Yeah, Resogun. We got Hyper Light Drifter. Oh man, we loving it over here. What does Xbox have it over there? Oh wait, that Forza Horizon 2? Oh, that's looking pretty good. But they don't got anything. Oh, Ori and the Blind Forest? You know, that's looking pretty hot too. But we got Infamous. We got Infamous. Oh, that Sunset Overdrive? No, we gonna review bomb that. We get Insomniac over there? No, we gotta review bomb that. We can't have them. Like, even though Xbox One definitely had the better exclusive lineup by far from 2013 to 2015 at least.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even give them 2016, because even though PS4 had Uncharted 4, that was literally all they had in 2016. But 2016, Xbox still had like Quantum Break. They had a lot more, even though none of them hit as hard as Uncharted 4. So I'd say like 2016 might have been like a tie. But as soon as the E3 of Dreams happened in 2016, and then in 2017 we got Horizon, and then the Xbox output just fell off a cliff. That's when the PS4 really took off, and I feel like PS5 is about to hit that same stride in 2025, because I see Ghost of Tsushima 2 coming out in 2025. I see I feel like that's gonna be a big one too. I feel like
that's gonna be their moment where they break their silence on their first party, right? It's gonna be Ghost 2, most likely.
Yep. I feel like this year their showcase is actually gonna, this time for real. Like for real, like not like Remember the last year's showcase where everyone was hyping it up? Even Jeff Corden was like, "Oh man,
it's gonna be great."
Xbox fans are gonna be like they're gonna be upset after seeing this PlayStation showcase. And I was, and then that's where the whole Hold the Line and everything came from, because everyone was talking about the new PlayStation showcase. Xbox was doing a bunch, like Redfall came out, all of this bad stuff was happening. Everyone hyped up this PlayStation showcase, and then it ended up being nothing.
Yeah.
Literally just a bunch of multiplats and Spider-Man 2 at the end. But this time for real, I feel like this showcase is going to be the PlayStation we've been looking for this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to see Ghost of Tsushima drop. We're going to see more. I mean, we're going to actually see gameplay of Fair Games.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's going to drop in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I would have guessed Marathon until the recent Bungie stuff just happened. So no, I don't see
they removed
Marathon
their
happening in
director
2025.
of the game, right?
Creative director, and replaced them with the former director of Valorant. Valorant's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah.
If it's a competitive game, that's definitely someone that you want to, because Bungie hasn't really been that good at competitive since Halo.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like those two, and then I feel like Ben Studio's gonna pop up. We're gonna see what Ben Studio's been working on, because we know that they've been working on something that's not Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're finally gonna get that Astrobot game.
Okay. You think it's gonna be VR too, or is it gonna be like a?
Oh no,
no.
They don't care about VR. They might have a VR mode. They might do like some kind of, hey, you can play this without VR and in VR, like, but they're definitely not going to release an Astrobot only for VR, especially after seeing what the PSVR 2 has been doing. I'm pretty sure they're about to pull a Vita and pull all support.
That makes me sad, but it's also funny because I only wanted to get the VR 2 for one fucking game, and that was Gran Turismo. That was it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm so glad I never pulled the trigger on that, because I feel like it would just be sitting in my room collecting dust.
Hey, get a PSVR 2 now, because they're about to make it PC compatible. Hey, Gran Turismo is going to get ported over too.
Oh, okay.
So then you'll be able to play it on PC.
Shit. But then at that point, you'll be able to use probably other VR headsets too, no?
Yeah, but for the specs of the PSVR 2, it's not that bad for the price. If you're okay with wired. Now, I had a wired VR headset. Sadly, it does not work anymore. I'm so sad. So I've been VR-less for a while, but I really want to get the MetaQuest because wireless. Dealing with the wire, it does get in the way, honestly. Yeah. If you don't have the right setup, it just gets in the way. Mm-hmm. And the amount of space that I have in my play area is not sufficient enough for me to be tailored to my PC in this small ass study. Mm-hmm. I need to be out in the living room where I have more space.
Yeah.
So that's why I want the Quest.
Okay.
So yeah, that's gonna happen. Obviously, PS5 Pro is gonna launch at the end of the year.
Yeah, this year.
It's gonna do similar numbers to the PS4 Pro. I don't see it really doing a lot.
I would say this time around, I feel like more people want it. I will say that. Like, there is more it's more circulated, like the fact that it's like more powerful GPU wise and stuff.
It depends on the price.
Yeah, for sure.
The PS4 Pro is still $400.
Yeah.
Which was the same price as it was the same price as what the PS4 launched at.
Mm-hmm.
The PS5 Pro will not be the same price that the PS5 launched at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be that $500 price tag.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to, and I feel like at the same time, the PS4 Pro was more needed than the PS5 Pro. Because PS4 and Xbox One games were running sub 30. Yeah. Like barely hitting 1080p, 900p at the time. It was pretty bad, especially like games like The Witcher 3 that was running at like 20 frames, but it was like that CPU. It was a bad, like the PS4 and Xbox One were just bad hardware all around for the launch. They were able to put out some incredible looking games, but they could have done a lot more with that hardware. They definitely scraped the bottom of the barrel with that CPU. Mm-hmm. So let's see. I'll say that's it for games I see coming in 2025.
Okay.
But then from there, I feel like their cadence is gonna get a lot better. Up until the end of the generation, I feel like we're gonna have at least 2 to 3 big those PlayStation 5 bangers that they be talking about over there. And that's not including the third party.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's why I like saying it, just to make fun of them. But
yeah. Because it's all subjective, right? Like what is great to you is not going to be great to me. Like it's...
Oh, yeah. Because if it was up to me, if I was the deciding factor of what games were 10 out of 10 and which ones are 7s,
yeah,
the entire Uncharted series will be a 7 to me. I hate Uncharted. Okay. Oh my god.
Okay.
I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it later because there's a topic that I do want to bring up.
Okay, go for it.
I was gonna save this for my podcast, my little rant, but I'm gonna let you have the exclusive right here.
The exclusive Don rant. Okay. We'll get to that later. Okay. So you said Astrobot will be there, a new Astrobot game. Ghost 2, Bend Studios will show up, and then from there they'll have a little bit more Fair Games and Concord. Forgot about those.
Yeah, Concord's supposed to be end of this year. I don't see it. Yeah, they would have showed it by now.
Yeah, I feel like they will still show it this year, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna come out this year. And then Marathon, whenever that will be, maybe 2026, most likely, right?
Yeah, I feel like by 2026, you're gonna start seeing all the suspects. They're gonna start showing up. Media Molecule, they'll show up in 2026. That'll be their last game before they get closed down.
Oh no.
Yeah, I already see that. Maybe they won't even put.
That's crazy.
But just seeing that they narrowly escaped being shut down this time, they must have something a little interesting that may hit at the very least. That Sony was like, you know what? We gonna keep y'all. This the last time though. Y'all better put something out. Y'all got 2 more years. Mm-hmm. So I feel like 2026 they're gonna drop something, and that's gonna be the make or break moment for them. The Fire Emblem Awakening moment, I like to say.
Okay.
So then, 2026 up to 2028, which I'm guessing that's going to be the end of the console generation. We're going to see their big hitters finally coming out. We're going to get a Naughty Dog experience. We're going to get that new Last of Us game, Part 1. And I say that because they're gonna start. It's gonna be the start of them releasing their games in chapters. We saw it with the Insomniac leaks, where you saw like X-Men Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, the new Spider-Man Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Sony's strategy, getting around these big budgets. 6-hour Part 1 experiences for $70. 6 to 8 hours, maybe 8 to 12, depending on the game. They're gonna start splitting up these experiences so that they can still put the same amount of budget, or maybe not the same amount. They're gonna cut the budget, but you're gonna get the same quality because it's a lot shorter. And then it also improves the cadence, since they can probably put out the part 2 in like 2 to 3 years, part 3 in 2 to 3 years. It's not like, oh, we have to wait another 6 years for the next game.
Like, they'll be kind of following the blueprint of the Final Fantasy remake team, right?
Yep. Except it won't get bigger and better.
Yeah.
It'll be the exact same experience. Okay. It'll just be a continuation of that. Like, nothing's going to get better. It's just going to be a continuation of that experience. Because Rebirth is like a
way
much bigger, much more expanded game than Remake was.
Yep.
Which is, I got burned on Remake, and that's my only reason for not getting Remake. I'm gonna wait for a sale.
Okay. Or wait for the PC port.
Yeah, wait for the PC port and a sale, because I spent $60 on was basically a demo to what Rebirth was gonna be.
Oof, yeah.
40-hour demo.
It's still good though. It's
that combat system is fire.
Yeah, it is.
I just didn't like the story choices and them dragging out the 5-hour Midgar section.
It has a lot of Nomura-isms. The fucking cloaked fucking figures, like, straight from Kingdom Hearts. Like,
I was like, man, Nomura. I used to be in love with Nomura. Yeah. Everything Nomura touches, I don't care how crazy he went. It was golden. And then I was just playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was like, man, not like this, Nomura. somebody need to get him out of here, bro.
So wait, what? I know this is kind of off topic. What did you not like about Remake?
Just them stretching it out.
Okay.
The story, the pacing of the game, and all the story choices. I just have to play like the story choices as far as Sephiroth and Zack. How. I don't know if this is we're still in spoiler territory or not, but
spoiler alert.
Yeah, but just them changing the story aspect of it, because we're getting I wanted the remake, as in I want the same story with better gameplay, basically.
But and what they're giving you is more of a sequel.
Yeah, something different. So I just have to see how it pans out. I don't know if I like it or I don't like it at this point.
Okay. I would say, just to add on to the remake thing, I only played the OG Final Fantasy VII all the way up until you left Midgard, so I don't have too much perspective of after that. But from the beginning of that game to Midgard is like you said, like 4 or 5 hours. And then, my remake, like, game time was, like, almost 40 or 50 hours. So it's, like, they really do drag on the experience. And I will get to this later on, but they do.
Side quests are terrible.
The side quests in remake, in the remake. Fucking god-awful. In the remake, I've
heard they've improved on Rebirth.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, they did. The side quests in Rebirth are great. But I was going to say, I do have some gripes with the game, with Rebirth. I do think they kind of still carry that tradition of kind of dragging things out a little bit, but I'll get to that later. All right. So you think after 2016 they'll start gradually getting more, like, what's the word? They'll start being more consistent with releases, is what you're saying?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because we know these studios, and as I know that So it basically what happened to Xbox is happening to PlayStation, where COVID, but PlayStation kind of had a double whammy. Xbox also had a double whammy, but I'll get into that with when we get to the Xbox section. PlayStation's double whammy was COVID, and then going all in on live service, but then backtracking immensely because we know all of these studios. Oh, almost forgot about one. We gonna see the Horizon multiplayer game
and Zero Dawn remake too. We gonna see that too.
Oh my god. I don't know what's wrong.
They're
with
gonna
them.
showcase the power of the PS5 Pro with that Zero Dawn remake.
Jesus, that's gonna be the launch game for the PS5 Pro. That's gonna be the game that launches. You're like, hey guys, this is it. This is the power of the PS5 Pro. Look, and then people were gonna do a comparison. Like, she got like 3 more strands of hair. That's it.
Yeah, that's. People are already being insufferable with that PS5 Pro shit because like they're like, oh my god, 33 teraflops. Like I don't even know what the fuck a teraflop is. Like, come on, bro.
All I know is that it's 1,000 gigaflops.
Yeah.
4,024, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like it's some sort of like way to kind of determine the power of a GPU, but it's not like it doesn't tell all, right?
I used to think that I was like a big techie guy growing up, especially with phones when smartphones were still like cool and original and they used to have no idea. I used to look at I used to know every phone that was every single Android phone, Windows phone, iPhones. I knew it when they were coming out before anybody else. I was like, hey, you know that front facing camera, right? Like, what? Front facing camera? Yeah. In that iPhone 4S, you're gonna be able to do like video calls and everything. And it's gonna have a 1 gigahertz processor. What does that even mean? I don't know, but it sounds fire though. When the Snapdragon was first, when the HTC Evo was coming out with the first Snapdragon 1 gigahertz processor, I was like, ooh, our phone is dead. We got Android. They won. They got a kickstand, front-facing camera. They got the 1 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. What is that? I don't know, but it sounds fire though. So I used to just go I used to just run with these numbers that I would always see. Like, yeah, oh, this one has a 2 gigahertz and this one has a 1.8 gigahertz. Yeah, that's better. And then you realize quickly that those numbers do not mean anything. Yeah, it's all about how you implement them, the architecture, because you can have AMD can have more teraflops than the NVIDIA processor of the same on the same scale. Yeah, but the NVIDIA is still beating out AMD 9 times out of 10.
Yep, and that's why PlayStation is going for their own proprietary like AI upscaling versus going with AMD, right?
Yep. And Xbox has been working on theirs for a while. We've seen the DirectML in their GDCs for a while, so I feel like that's probably going to be in the next generation.
Yeah, next gen Xbox. Yeah, I see the same thing. It's like, oh, higher numbers means better performance, which means it's going to be better and that's going to dominate. But yet at the end of the day, it's all about how developers like utilize the hardware. Like,
and Xbox fans learned that the hardware. They saw that 12 teraflops. Call it PS5 9.2 teraflops graded to 10.6 or 10.4 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, what y'all gonna do with 9.2 teraflops? We getting 4K 60 everything. I remember those 4K 60 dreams. Everyone was like, yeah, 4K 60 everything this generation. That was a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I knew from the beginning that it wasn't gonna be like native 4K. I always knew it was gonna be upscaled 4K because that's where the future of the tech was going anyways, even on the PC side. But even then it slightly is disappointing. But I would say like developers are doing like a good enough job at keeping games like at least consistent across the board. I would say it's better in that aspect in this generation versus the last one.
There's definitely more 60 FPS options than we ever got last gen.
Yeah.
Did you know the Nintendo Switch had more 60 FPS first party games than PS4 and Xbox combined?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the thing that happened. Because outside of Halo, Gears, and Forza, you really didn't see any other Xbox One games at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
I think Sunset Overdrive might have been 60. No, it wasn't. Okay. So, yeah, most of the Xbox One first party games were all 30 frames per second outside of Halo, MCC, Gears, 4 and 5, all the Forzas, all like 5, 6 of them. PlayStation had 0. They had, I think there was 1 or 2 60 FPS. I think Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I think
but everything else was 30 frames per second with no 60 FPS option.
The only one that comes to my mind is Infamous Second Son had an unlocked performance option, but even then it wasn't 60. It was unlocked frame rate.
Yeah, I think Killzone at launch also.
Oh yeah, Killzone was 60 FPS. I remember they definitely honed that fact for sure.
But when it came to Nintendo, basically any of their multiplayer games, any Mario game, any multiplayer game was going to be 60 FPS. The only time you saw 30 of their first party was the big Zeldas, the Fire Emblem games. Even though Fire Emblem Warriors had a 60.
Oh, okay.
If you docked it. Let me see. Obviously, Mario Kart has 60 FPS.
Yeah, Smash Bros. Obviously.
Smash.
I think Splatoon even has.
Splatoon definitely 60 FPS. ARMS was 60 FPS.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Man, maybe Nintendo's the new king of 60 FPS gaming.
A lot of their multiplayer games were all 60 FPS, and they did drop a lot of either smaller games, because even Skyward Sword HD was 60 FPS. Their remasters were coming out at 60 FPS. The Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3. All 60 FPS. So
yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Wow,
I'm telling you, like people always because people will play Zelda on the Switch, and then that's probably one of the Pokemon and Zelda. Those are the most popular games for the hardcore. Like people are gonna buy a Switch for those, and Fire Emblem, and they're basically like these big games, these big open world games. Xenoblade also. And they see, these are like Nintendo only makes 30 frames games that drop frame rate because these are like their biggest games. Like,
those are the games that are pushing the hardware.
Yeah, Xenoblade and Breath of the Wild. Pokemon has no excuse. but Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade are like pushing to the max. Fire Emblem, I think that was more time because Intelligent Systems do put out games pretty fast. If they actually spent the same amount of time as they did on like Zelda or even Xenoblade, if they got like a 4-year cycle to do a Fire Emblem game, they could put out that looks pretty good and runs well. Sorry for the side tangent.
No, you're good. Let me ask you a quick question though. For PlayStation, how much do you think the PS5 Pro will cost?
Honestly, I think it's gonna be $649, like the VR2.
$649. Yeah, I think it's gonna be around that ballpark too.
Because since they raised the PS5's price to $549 in most regions, I think they're just gonna go $100 that.
Okay. Yeah, because the base price for the PS5 now is $549, right?
Yep.
You think they're gonna try
Or
bundling in a game with it?
no.
No, just the console.
Uh, well, one, they don't have any games to bundle. So, and then two, if they do bundle, it'll be like $40 extra or $50, $6.99. You'll get maybe they'll do like their little bundle. Remember how they had God of War, Horizon, and Spider-Man, or God of War, Last of Us, and or Horizon, Last of Us, and Spider-Man. I think that was 3 games for the price of the PS4. So maybe they'll bundle in God of War and
Forbidden
Spider-Man.
West and Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Yeah, Forbidden West and Spider-Man into a $6.99 bundle. The power of the PS5 bundle.
Fuck. Shit. Yeah, and actually, earlier I said that more people are excited, but that's mainly because I know specifically in my life people that are waiting, like they're on their base PS4 still waiting for the PS5 Pro, because well, I told them years ago, like last year or 2 years ago that they were gonna do it, and it's 2 main people, and they're deciding to wait. Like they listen to me. They're like, you know what, we're not gonna get the PS5. We'll wait for the Pro. And then literally when the report started getting like thrown in the circle of like the specs and all that, that's when they're like, oh wow, you were right. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I try not to give people wrong information, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I know specifically people that are waiting for the PS5 Pro, so that's why I'm kind of like keeping my eye on it still. And for myself personally, I ain't gonna get it, but if I could maybe sell my PlayStation, or if I could offload it to someone, then I might think about getting it. But other than that, I'm okay for now. But yeah, that's my opinion on the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, and I rag on the PS5 right now. They've been pretty bleak, and as far as PlayStation as a whole, they've been going away from what I like, what type of games I like, what kind of like their decision making, what they focus on are all things I just don't care about in gaming. So even though I have my PS5, I have not touched it since Returnal.
Oh wow.
So okay, I can't say that because I played
Spider-Man 2 maybe.
No.
Oh wow.
So I played the demos of Forspoken and Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
And I've been saying, oh yeah, I get my PS5 to my brother.
Okay.
And he lives with me. I can get it at any time.
Mm-hmm.
I just
don't care to do it, huh?
Stellar Blade is probably going to be the game that gets me back on my PS5.
Okay.
Because I was like, you know what? I got Foam Stars. You know, I'm gonna play Foam Stars. I like Splatoon. I might as well just play Foam Stars. It's free.
Yeah.
And I could not work up the strength to just go in there and get the PS5 and hook it up, carry that 30-pound baby into the. I don't got time for that.
Yeah, it is a really big console too. Well, the Slim is small, but base PS5 is pretty big. But.
So I've been ragging on PS5 and I've been talking down on Sony for a while, but I feel like as far as their future, this is a hiccup in what's about to be for the PlayStation fans. Is about to be what they've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. The greatness that has been awaiting for like the last 3 years. Yeah. Although it might not be for me, I think the PlayStation fans will be happy from 2025 and forward.
Yeah, I could see that because they're gonna start dropping the bangers.
The bangers.
Yeah, yeah, I hate that word. I don't even gotta talk about that, but. All right. So we've talked about what they will probably do, which I think we've been pretty much on the money so far. We'll come back to this in a few years and we'll see if we've been right. But what do you personally want SIE/PlayStation to do?
All right. I'm going to make this quick.
Go for it.
First off, take half the budget away from Naughty Dog, half the budget away from Guerrilla Games. Put that budget towards getting everybody from Japan studio back. Bring my Japan studio back. All right, now we gonna retry what y'all failed to do, and that's market these Japan studio. Gravity Rush 2 got no marketing. Got snubbed so bad. They literally left that game out, and that was one of their best exclusives that they had.
Yep.
They could have done so much with that franchise. Like, now they're trying to pull out this movie.
Yeah.
Just to put lemon in my gashes from them canceling this. Like how dare you?
Uh-huh.
You're like, hey guys, we still love Gravity Rush. Here's a movie. So get those devs back. Make a new studio.
Reestablish something in Japan.
Yes. Even though they have Team Asobi, that's not enough for me.
And Polyphony, which is a racing studio.
Yeah. Definitely get them back in. Give them Legend of Dragoon. Give them Legend of Dragoon. We're finally doing it. Legend of Dragoon. I don't care if you split it up into parts like Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'll let you. I'll be a hypocrite and I'll pay the $210 to experience the full game.
Would you buy a PS5 Pro for Legend of Dragoon Remake in 4K 120?
I would buy PS5 Pro for Legends of Dragoon Remake.
That's fire. Okay.
I'm a hypocrite if you haven't noticed.
It's all good, bro. We all are, bro. We all are.
So, establish their Japanese studios. Bring back the Japanese support. Start making smaller games. Not smaller as in. Don't do any the Order 1886. We're not doing that. No 5-hour like AAA experiences. I want y'all to make AA games that are more creative and actually market them. Okay. Gravity Rush did not cost as much as God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us. But if y'all would have just put little 10 million in marketing, maybe anything, literally, that game could have done I wouldn't say way more numbers, but it could have profited.
Yeah.
It could have had some profits. Y'all could have bundled it. Y'all could have did something to get that game. Y'all bundled every other game. Why ain't y'all bundled Gravity Rush?
Yeah, it does feel like they kind of just left it out to die, right? They just kind of shitted it out. That was the dude that's the creative director of Slitterhead. That was his last game at PlayStation. He left PlayStation and did his own thing.
And now I see him making a Slitterhead game, and I'm like, bro, why this? I love survival horror. But this is not Gravity Rush.
Mm-hmm. Side note, though, the beautiful thing about Gravity Rush is its art style. Like, it's not the most graphically like crazy game, but the art style still holds up. Like, if you go back to it literally now, it still looks great, and it's because it's stylized art style.
No one's gonna go back. Someone's gonna go back to God of War or Horizon. Maybe more God of War. Like, this looks like a PS4 game. When you go to Gravity Rush 2, it transcends generation.
Yeah, you don't think of the generation that it's on. You just look, it's like, wow, this is crazy. This is unique.
The same would be like Hi-Fi Rush will hold up for another 2-3 generations.
Yep.
As far as its art style goes.
100%.
Like, people will see Hi-Fi Rush and be like, man, that is a beautiful looking game. Yep. That is a amazing looking game. Mm-hmm. The same was said like Wind Waker. It took even before the HD remaster, you can still look at Wind Waker and look at every other game and be like, oh, like you look at Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube and you're like,
Yeah.
ew.
Yeah.
And then you look at Wind Waker and you're like, oh, this is.
Yeah. It's all just art style. But that's the thing. Like, they're chasing this realistic, high fidelity art style. It's costing them way more. They're having to like go back and kind of update it every single generation that comes out just to keep it current and stuff. It's wasted. It's wasted energy. It's wasted time, money, and energy, in my opinion.
And the thing is, I like the realistic graphics. I like seeing, seeing it and be like, damn, like it looked like that. Seeing Hellblade 2 and being like, bro, how did they even get it to look like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, the techie in me is gonna be like, not every single one of your studios need to do that.
Yeah.
Why? Like, we don't need every single studio to be doing that. Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, Insomniac, Gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, oh, let's get Ben Studio to come make this type of game. Oh, we need, who else was in here? Really, I would even say we can take Insomniac off of that. Let Insomniac make more like shell-shaded, comic-looking Spider-Man games. I bet they get those games out faster.
Ooh,
especially X-Men.
Fire. That'd be fire.
If they went to more comic-based art style, they'd be getting them games out way faster.
They would have already been on too. It wouldn't be
Wolverine would have already been out by now, and X-Men. Hey, we would have been waiting for the new X-Men by now. They would have went with that type of art style instead of going with the most realistic graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Insomniac has always been an art style studio, and then they went to the realism with Resistance because of PlayStation and started chasing that realism. Where now even Ratchet and Clank is getting the redheaded stepchild treatment versus it used to be their biggest game.
Yeah. Like,
oh, if all else fails, Resistance, Fuse, Sunset Overdrive, we still got Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
And now
they're Ratchet and Marvel Clank Studio.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank hasn't even hit 2 million yet.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the PS5 showcase.
Mm-hmm. It still is, in my opinion. Like, that's one of the most beautiful looking games. It has the most amount of options too. You can run it in 40 FPS, 60 FPS, 30 FPS. It's like, they're so good with the technology too. But yeah, they're just chasing realism, which is ballooning their budgets. It's making their making their games take longer to come out. And yeah. Yeah,
but that's basically, I just want them to get more creative with their games again. Less walk and talk, more gameplay, less realism, more perfecting art style.
Perfect. Yep. I'm 100% right there with you. The only thing I would add is I want
multiplayer games too.
Yep. Okay. Yes. I want to add, they should have just released Last of Us multiplayer. It don't matter how much content that shit had. They should have released it because The Last of Us Part 2's gameplay mechanics, they kind of beg for a multiplayer mode, in my opinion. Yeah. Especially
after the no return mode, whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
The new roguelike mode, it just made you, they could have literally just added multiplayer to this and fleshed it out.
Yeah.
And it would have been an amazing mode, like just something there that keeps you playing the game, keeps you engaged.
Yes, sir. Wait, hold on one second.
Really,
hold on one second. 1 second. I need to turn on my light because it's getting dark as fuck in my room. Okay, I'm back. It's a little bit brighter in my room now. Okay. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, because no one really wanted. We didn't want a whole new game that was more. We just wanted Factions 2.
Yeah.
We just wanted the mode in the game, like just as a side mode, because Factions 1 side, like on the side of Last of Us, was really good. And we wanted an even better version of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they wanted to make it into their whole division style game, whatever they were.
Yeah, they're being hella
Um,
extra with it. They're doing too much.
so
But yeah.
yeah, multiplayer games is another big one because they need to. I don't know who or what needs to change, who needs to change their multiplayer efforts outside of Hell was basically just Arrowhead. Arrowhead already knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, in my opinion, Helldivers 2 is like people do. I see a lot of like the PlayStation fans saying that that's like a win for PlayStation, but in my opinion, it's like that's it's not. It's their IP, but it's not really their game. You know what I'm saying? So it is a win for PlayStation, but in my opinion, it's more so of a win for Arrowhead.
yeah, it's just as much a win for PlayStation as it is for, or no, I won't say it's the same as Power World because at least they own the IP.
Yeah,
So
it's
Power
sort of
World's
similar
eventually going to
though.
come everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing I would like to add, though, I remember a few years ago, I seen Neil Druckmann give out his like list of like games he would love to make before he retires. I don't know if you've seen this list, but one of the games that were on it was a Cowboy Bebop game, and the idea of Naughty Dog making a Cowboy Bebop game, I feel like that would be fucking amazing. But they're probably never gonna do that. But I think I mean, Sony owns like Funimation and fucking Crunchyroll and all that shit. So
They
I feel
literally
like,
have a monopoly on the American anime, like the Western anime market.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like they wouldn't even really have to do no like licensing or anything like that. Like they kind of have it in house, possibly. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I mean, technically, not really. They're more in the distribution. They
okay,
do. I think they have a little stake in Katakawa.
okay,
But as far as because Bandai Namco still has the Shonen Jump, like
mm,
everything Shonen Jump on lock.
okay,
Which is why you only see these Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece games all coming from Bandai Namco.
mm-hmm.
So they have dibs on everything Shonen Jump. So they would have to go outside of that. Katakawa is another bigger one. But when it comes to the most well-known anime franchises, they're usually Jump.
Fire. But yeah, but that's the only thing I would do. I would let Neil Druckmann make whatever game he actually wants to make, because I feel like at this point he's kind of being forced to make Last of Us, or he's kind of they've kind of made that Naughty Dog into like a Last of Us type studio, in my opinion. So get them off of something that'll keep them depressed for the next 5 years and get them something more fun.
And let's see, 2019 and before, I would have been like, no, don't let Neil Druckmann do anything. Don't let Naughty Dog do anything. Just take them off of every game. We don't need. I'm a pre 2019 Naughty Dog hater.
Okay.
Like after they went from Jack and Daxter to Uncharted, I've hated everything about Naughty Dog until The Last of Us Part 2, which is one of my favorite games.
Okay. Okay. Fire. Fire. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go into why.
A little bit later.
Yeah. Did you have any intentions of talking about 1943, Marvel 1943, The Rise of Hydra?
We can talk about that. Yeah, I seen the little cutscene that they put out. It's pretty good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about that now. You want to talk about that right now?
All right, just a little rant.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So my biggest gripes with Naughty Dog, and basically the fact that Naughty Dog basically formed what PlayStation as a whole became.
Yeah.
After Uncharted, is that this is the start of the AAA gaming single player, at least in the single player. We started to get away from putting gameplay first.
Mm-hmm.
Uncharted did not have like not any Uncharted from 1 to 4 and the original Last of Us. The gunplay was never that good. The gunplay was always passable.
Serviceable. Yep.
Yeah. The gunplay was always like when you play Gears of War, the gunplay hits.
Yeah, it's tight.
It's tight. It feels great. Even when you're wall bouncing and doing all this, you always feel like you're in control.
Mm-hmm.
The gunplay of Uncharted has never been fun. It was more gallery shooter. Bunch of enemies just start popping up. They're hiding behind stuff. You're waiting for them to pop out of cover. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, move to the next guy. Aim assist is heavy as hell. Now you can play on the harder difficulties, but it doesn't make the game
it more fun. Nope.
It just makes it like, oh, you die faster. They have in like the 100% accuracy.
Yeah.
It just like it doesn't make the gunplay feel better. It just makes the game harder artificially.
A matter of fact, I would say the difficulty modes in Uncharted, they actually point out the flaws in the game more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then what really irks me about Uncharted, and they like games have done this at some points already. We had games that already did stuff like this. But the way that Uncharted takes you out of the game so much.
Yeah.
They basically like the walk and talk.
Mm-hmm.
We've had games that done that before, but they really just like established it. The walk and talk sections, the climbing sections, I cannot stand.
Yeah, the super
climbing
scripted climbing sections. Yeah, they're not like
where you
fun. They're more scripted. Where
you can see exactly that. Where you're gonna put your hand here and it's gonna crumble, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, go that way now, or exactly after every single cut. Why is my riot game starting up? Anyways,
wait.
I don't know. My riot games on my PC just started like the logo popped up like it was about to start up. I'm like, I've not clicked anything.
It's all good.
After every cutscene, when you're running away, or you're like, the entrance behind me is gonna get collapsed, and I'm not gonna be able to go that way anymore. Mm-hmm. And every single time it happens.
Yeah.
Every time you're walking through, we're almost to wherever we need to be. The path in front of you is gonna crumble, or something's gonna fall and block your path. You're gonna have to take the most out of the way, like exit. Like you have to go on a whole detour just to get to the place that's right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Is so like it gets tiring.
Yeah, it's antiquated at this point, I would say.
And
they're the originators of it too.
I already didn't like it because even games. So I feel like Uncharted basically just took Prince of Persia: Sands of Time formula. It had everything. Climbing sections, the paths being blocked, all of that stuff that you would see in the Prince of Time trilogy is exactly what. And then I've actually got a war kind of with from that, and then it just transferred over to the Uncharted series. But you know what? The Sands of Time trilogy and God of War, and I can put up with it. Uncharted did not have good enough gameplay for me to put up with.
Yeah.
And I finished 1 through 3. I stopped at 4. I couldn't finish 4. I was just like the stories are interesting. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really, but I can't, a story is not going to make me, I'm not going to continue playing a game just for the story.
Mm-hmm.
And what really makes me mad about the industry nowadays is that if the story is good enough, they will overlook it.
Yeah.
They will overlook anything. And
The
I do
story is
not,
good, yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that Naughty Dog, TLOU, getting the original at least, because I said part 2 is one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah.
Because they upgraded
The gameplay.
their gameplay so much.
Yep.
And to the point where I think that's still the best third-person shooter gameplay, third-person action gameplay.
Okay.
I would even put it in front of Gears. Like, that's how much I love The Last of Us Part 2. I'd tie it up with Gears at least. I'd tie it up.
They finally got there though.
Yeah, it took them a while, but pre Part 2, The Last of Us Part 1, and Uncharted 1 through 4.
It's a no bueno.
They're getting 90 pluses.
Yeah.
With passable gameplay, because the story, I got emotional while playing it. Okay, why are you putting that above the gameplay in a video game?
Yeah.
Why does that why does that have more weight than the gameplay in a video game? Why are we here in this medium? Why are if we wanted to watch movies, we watch movies. If you would be a movie file, not a gamer. I feel like gameplay should always come, which is why Nintendo, hey, they're kings of gameplay. They're the kings of gaming. That's literally how I see it. I didn't like the story in Breath of the Wild that much. I thought the story was bare bones. They could have did so much more with it. The fact that you could go anywhere and do anything made getting the memories and trying to piece them together one at a time, or like it being disorganized and out of order. Excuse me.
No, you're good.
Was not the best storytelling. It's a 10 out of 10 to me because the gameplay, the way that they did the world, the
immersive sim elements, right?
Yes. Breath of the Wild is the best case of an open world immersive sim that has ever been. I don't think anyone, I was hoping Redfall, RIP to that game. I was hoping Redfall, because I was like, Arcane, doing open world multiplayer, because I love me some co-op. Redfall is like my dream game. Not like this.
Yeah, not like that. Nah, I stopped. It's funny. This is a side note for Redfall. I stopped playing that game when I seen that game had achievements with like 16 and 14 gamer score. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not playing this. I like my 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 G achievements, please.
I just played Brotato and that ruined.
Yeah, I seen it. Yup, I seen that. That has like 3 and 4 and stuff like that, or something like that, right? It's crazy. That's a pet peeve of mine, but that's a stupid side note.
So yeah, that's really my one, like, Naughty Dog, like the reason, because then we just started seeing a wave of everyone being like, oh, the narrative, like, people are more focused on trying to make emotional narratives than they are on new gameplay ideas.
Yeah, 100%.
And during the Xbox One PS4 era, we did not get those gameplay advancements, those new ideas that we would see in the 360 and PS3 era. I feel like the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor was probably like, I'm not even talking about the indie scene.
Yeah,
scene, they're all coming up with something. I'm talking about in the AAA space. The Shadow of Mordor with the Nemesis, that's probably the biggest advancement that we've seen. And then they patented it.
Yeah. And
basically, like, now we have to wait for Wonder Woman whenever the fuck that's coming out. Can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. You don't got to censor yourself, bro. Don't even worry about that.
Oh. Yeah, whenever that comes out, and it's been like, let me see. I think it came out 2018. So it's been 6 years. And we don't have a new game with the Nemesis. You know how I just imagine all these games that could have used the Nemesis system up to this point. Imagine if Elden Ring had the Nemesis system.
Yeah, that'd be crazy,
Imagine if
right?
that would have been amazing. Because I think before the patent went through, Assassin's Creed Odyssey kind of had their own with the mercenaries. It wasn't as good.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't as immersive where they all had different personalities or anything. But the whole like seeing the ranks of these mercenaries coming after you and they would pop up at any time. That was pretty cool. But Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis, like peak gameplay improvement. Like that was probably one of the best systems of that generation. And yet, in the AAA space, we have not seen anything even close to that since.
Yeah, I would say the closest maybe to this is gonna be kind of funny. I feel like you're gonna laugh at this, but the closest to that is maybe Death Stranding.
I can see
with the Strand game, kind of
Strand type game.
Yeah, which I don't really know what that. It's just a glorified term of saying you pretty much the actions you do in the world help other people in their world. That's pretty much all it is. Like you put down a ladder here. The next person that plays it, they'll have that same ladder, so they can give you a like or whatever.
There's a game, I forgot. Someone was saying that there's a game that already exists like that from someone else.
Oh, really?
But I can't think of it right now.
The only other thing that I could think of that's similar to that is kind of like the Dark Souls system, where you put down like a note on the ground. Yeah, I would say that's kind of similar.
So my whole rant of Naughty Dog was that, for the most part, Amy Hennig was the biggest part of the Uncharted series, the original Last of Us. She had a hand in it, not part 2. I wonder why part 2 had so much better gameplay than all the other games that came before it. And then, so Amy Hennig, I didn't have any qualms with her because I never really tied her to Uncharted. Like, oh, she just did the story. I didn't really think of her the gameplay or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the new Captain America Black Panther game was announced. Not the new trailer that just came out, but the original announcement.
Yeah.
And she was doing interviews and she was saying, yeah, I've always made games that are narrative first, and I want the gameplay to be accessible and simple, like accessible and cinematic. And then I was like, it was her. It was her this whole time. I never put 2 and 2 together.
The enemies are in the building.
So then I instantly was like, I am not excited for the game anymore.
Oh, wow. So that turned you off on it, huh?
The last thing I want is for a superhero game to not be gameplay first. A superhero game. You have these characters with these abilities. If I see Black Panther climbing up a fucking wall, I'm gonna lose my shit. If I see if it's Breath of the Wild, you climb every like Spider-Man web crawling anywhere he can get his hands on. Okay, if I see scripted sections of where he can climb, I'm gonna lose my mind. So when I saw the new trailer, I was getting excited. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
These graphics.
Good dialogue.
Like the voice acting, everything. Oh, and then I was like, oh wait. Amy Hennig, I forgot. Nope. Yeah. Not getting my hopes up until I see gameplay. So that was my dilemma today. When I was watching this trailer. So That was my Naughty Dog rant.
Okay. Okay. So just to wrap things up on Sony, uh, so I think that, like you said, they're gonna be more consistent, um, with releases after 2025. So they're gonna be a little bit more consistent. What we want from them is we want them to be a little bit more. How do I explain this? We want them to take a little bit more risks. Would you say that's the correct term for this?
Take more risks. Try
Creative
something new.
risks.
Yeah, definitely creative risks. Try something new. Go back to being never done before PlayStation and not sticking to the formula.
Yep, I agree. All right, my friend, you ready for the big and the bad one?
Yeah.
All right. Let me try to get through this because we've been going for quite a while. I don't know how much time you have. I don't want to take up all your night.
I have all the
You're
time.
good with just
I'm
going with
work.
it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm off work. I don't got nothing to do.
Awesome.
You know,
awesome. All right.
my girl can wait.
Man, I feel the same way. I'm neglecting my girl a little bit too. But okay, anyways, so for Xbox, I have written Xbox has the most defined short-term future with their games dropping and Game Pass, but their long-term plans are the most fluid, meaning things can change in almost an instant. All right, Don, what is the future of Xbox?
The future of Xbox?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because after this last thing that they just pulled, we don't. Who knows what they could do or could not do? They like I thought I knew I knew how this generation Xbox until the whole multi-platform thing happened, and then I was like, who doesn't like if it like just like that? If they can do that just like that, like, oh yeah, we're just releasing games on platform. And I'm like, what else are they gonna do? What's next? I thought I had y'all figured out, but I guess not.
Yeah.
So
they're just very unpredictable, right?
Yeah, I thought Nintendo was the actual unpredictable. I wasn't expecting Xbox to just jump ahead of them. Xbox pre the like not even including the whole. I've always said that they have the most potential out of anyone. Ever since, and I've said this even pre Bethesda, even pre ABK. When the first 2018 studio acquisition happened, 2018/2019 studio acquisitions with Double Fine and Obsidian,
Playground
In Exile,
games.
Playgrounds, Undead Labs, and then creating World's Edge and The Initiative. Almost forgot Ninja Theory also.
Ninja Theory,
Can't forget them. When that happened, I was like, Xbox isn't playing anymore. This is gonna be where Xbox finally hits its like peak, where there's no. So Xbox 360 could have been like, oh, this is Xbox when they're at 100%. Red Rings and the later half of Don Matrix, Connect, and all that happening was the what dragged that generation down a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it's still one of their best, it's still a great generation for them. The Series X, I was like, they have every card lined up. They have these new studios, and all of them were AA studios to indie. If you count, I'm forgetting their names. They're doing We Happy. They did We Happy Feet.
Oh, Compulsion.
I'm forgetting that. Yes, Compulsion. So indie to AA studios who have always not Compulsion. who have always made great games
Yeah.
or games that had a lot of potential. What they needed was just budget.
Mm-hmm.
And they could, if they just had budget, they could be on the level of these AAA studios that you see from PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part about it is that they were all creative studios. They all
had a really strong identity, right?
And they all did things different than a lot of, like, they didn't follow traditions. They didn't follow like the traditional formulas. They were all pretty, they all had their like really creative ideas. Hellblade, creative.
Yeah.
The fact that Obsidian could go from making South Park Stick of Truth to Pillars of Eternity to Outer Worlds, like nothing, and every single game was great. Compulsion, We Happy Few, that art style, that first initial trailer is still one of my favorite trailers.
Yeah.
The gameplay, because of budget, they had to go the whole procedural generation and roguelike route to save. But the ideas that they had in that game. Same with Contrast. Sorry, allergies and everything.
You're good.
Then same with In Exile. Even though, I mean, they were definitely a traditional. They just stuck to their core of being great CRPG developers. Wasteland 3 was my Baldur's Gate 3. Like, people hype up Baldur's Gate 3.
Fully co-op.
Fully co-op. The choices and consequences in that game were, like, for the time, no CRPG even. And it was the closest thing to a AAA CRPG you could get. But no, you know, because it was Xbox. Yeah. No one gave Wasteland 3, even though it was on everything, it was still Xbox. And no one gave it the time of day that they would give a Baldur's Gate. Even though I would say for when it came out in 2020, like, it was that big of a jump from the next nearest CRPG that it should have been getting the praises that Baldur's Gate got. But I digress. So they took these studios, said, hey, y'all get to have your creative freedom. You get to keep making the games how you make the games. We just gonna throw more money at you to make them as how you've always wanted them. We saw Ninja Theory in 2019, and we were like, this is like all the cards. So the studios, Phil Spencer, at that time, Phil Spencer could do no wrong. This man, every time he spoke, it was like he was speaking for the gamers. Like, he knew exactly us, the hardcore ones. Yeah. And he always, like, every time he did something for us, the hardcore, it wasn't for the casuals playing Madden, FIFA, 2K, Call of Duty. Yeah. Like, it always felt like, oh, they're actually, like, he's trying to, it wasn't the Don Metric era. This was what, like, he's talking to the gamers. And every time he implemented something new, we got, it was something great. Backwards compatibility, the 1X with the resolution, the Hachi method. Was it Hachi?
Yeah, I think it's like the Hochi method or something.
Hochi method. With the resolution boost, the
Game Pass.
Game Pass, obviously. Yeah. Game Pass. Shout out Game Pass. That's our tagline on Project Untitled. Yep. So now Game Pass was starting to hit it. Like, we didn't even hit the peak of Game Pass at the time, but you could tell it was always getting. So we start seeing all the cards line up. We had leadership that actually cared about making games, not TV. Yep. We had amazing studios in the first party. Then the hardware, on paper, A1, I mean, it's still A1 hardware.
Yeah, it's still great.
It didn't hit how we thought. Like it wasn't just blowing PS5 out the water, thinking it was going to do. Mostly because of the architecture and them, not the tools. Everyone used to say it's the tools.
Yeah, the dev tools.
Because the PS5 was so similar to the PS4, it was just like developers knew what to do with it. Xbox had all these new features and new toolkits that they basically had to relearn everything again. So it didn't turn out how we wanted it to, but hardware is still A1.
Yeah.
So all three of these things came together. We were like, yes, this is the generation where Xbox hits its stride. Then COVID happened. Those games that those studios were working on, especially like the Hellblades, these cinematic single player games, all had like they got hit hard. Didn't have any games in 2020. Halo Infinite just that just ruined everything. If Halo Infinite was there at launch and it launched at least decently,
yeah.
If we did not get that first gameplay reveal with Craig, if Halo Infinite was just in the state that it should have been, and it launched with the console, that would have been enough to get Xbox over the hump. Like, now COVID did help sell Xboxes because you couldn't find, like, no one could find consoles at the time. Everyone was buying them up, reselling them, whatever. So that was helping them while they were getting those games together. Then 2021 happened. Ooh, that back-to-back lineup, that Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, Flight Sim, Gears Tactics was at the launch.
Halo Infinite was in the 2021.
Yeah, Halo Infinite was in December.
And then they had Age of Empire 4.
Yeah, Age of Empires 4 on PC. Metacritic Publisher of the Year. 2021. Perfect. This is what Xbox is. This is what we've been looking forward to. Xbox is finally at its stride. Nothing can go wrong from here. Then 2022 happened. The drought.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite started to dwindle. The content was not making it on time. The Game Pass games were not hitting. Even games I was excited for, like Second Extinction, the dinosaur like Left 4 Dead game.
Okay, yeah.
Terrible. Terrible. I remember being so excited for that. It came out in like April 2022. I was like, finally, a good Xbox exclusive. Nope. Played it one day, threw that shit out the window. Trash. Then it was just nothing until September when Grounded came out, I think.
Yeah, September, and then November with Pentiment.
Yeah, but it started because Starfield and Redfall got delayed out of 2020. So the biggest games of the year got delayed. Then we got the showcase.
Can I say one thing though?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this goes back to the marketing thing. In my opinion, if Phil Spencer never said that this year is a disaster, then I feel like nobody would really be talking about it as being a disaster, if that makes sense. Like, since he labeled it, since he went out there and labeled it, then I feel like the people ran with those words. You know what I'm saying?
See, but he ran with it after everyone already was talking about it being a. He didn't say anything about it like 2023 when Redfall happened. He's like, yeah, 2022 is a disaster. Redfall is a disaster. Like, we all knew 2022 was maybe not, but I feel like anyone who heard that interview were already like, they already knew. They weren't the average gamer who didn't know that 2022 was a disaster.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I get you.
So yeah, then the only games we got was like Grounded and
Grounded,
As Dusk
Pentiment.
Falls.
Yep, As Dusk Falls. We got a couple Game Pass, like some good ones, like Plague Tale
High
came
on
out that
Life
year.
at the end.
Yeah,
High on Life at the end of the year, like kind of pick things up. Like, okay, we're getting ready for then that January Direct happened in 20. Ooh, Hi-Fi Rush. Never heard of this. This look today. We playing it today.
Yep.
Oh, amazing start to the year. All right, this is it. Xbox is back. It's like we going full force. We got all these games coming out back to back to back to back. Redfall happened.
Yep.
So it's literally like every time Xbox, like they're sprinting, they hit a rock, fall on the ground. Then PlayStation, Nintendo passes them up. All right, gotta get back up. Like they're the fastest runner. They're the fastest runner in the world. They're Usain Bolt. Yeah. They gonna catch up to you at any time. Like if you give them enough time, they gonna catch up. Every time they catch up, they gonna fall. Poof. They gonna fall again.
Yeah.
The clumsiest, fastest runner.
That's a great way to describe them, actually.
So this brings me 2024. Okay. We got our January Direct. Ooh, Indiana Jones, amazing. Avowed. Oh yeah, it's looking a little shaky, but we gonna give them the benefit of
because they're
that.
Obsidian.
It's at least gonna be a great RPG, even if it's a little clunky gameplay. Graphics ain't the best. Okay. Hellblade 2 still looks amazing.
Yep.
Nah, short. $50, kind of skeptical, but still, I feel like at the very least, if you like Hellblade 1,
you'll probably like the second one. Yep.
One of my personal favorites, Aura History Untold. I love Civilization, 4X strategy games, and that's basically the Civ 7 until we get that.
Yep. Hey, we got a fucking appearance from the dog. What dog is that? Which one is it?
This is the Dachshund mix. This is Teddy.
Teddy? Okay.
This is the baby.
Cute.
I didn't want to name him Teddy. That was my girl.
It's all good.
So yeah. Our History Untold. I can't wait for that game. I'm
not really into I think they're called 4X games.
4X
right?
strategy.
Yeah,
or grand strategy.
Yeah, I'm not super into them because I just get lost really easily. Like if I don't have like a guided hand in the beginning, then I feel like my foundation isn't really solid. But though I did watch that the trailer obviously through the Dev Direct, and it's awesome seeing like Xbox partner with devs that like they seem like they love this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what gives me hope for them. But anyways, keep on going.
Yeah. And that, and even outside of the Direct, we already knew about Tower coming out this.
Yep.
I love me some beat 'em ups, especially with RPG elements. Then we had Flight Sim 2024 already announced as well. So we had 6 games.
And then and
then Age of Mythology just also got added in there.
What's that one? Oh fuck, I'm forgetting the name. The Square Enix game.
Oh, Visions of Mana.
Visions of Mana. There you go.
Yeah, but that wasn't exclusive, so I was like, okay. But as far as exclusives, we had those 6, and then Age of Mythology also just got announced. So we had 7 like first party games already lined up for. That's no matter who you are. If you have 7 first party games lined up, and like at least 3 of them are like 85 plus meta looking type of games, then you have a great year. But then the whole multi-plat situation happened.
Yep.
And then they hit the rock again. And this rock, it was a boulder. Like they smacked into this shit. Like, and now it's like the boulder, and now they got just smaller rocks that are in front of them. And you don't know. Now we don't know if they can even run straight after this one. Like
they got
the zigzag. They got a zigzag hit. Like they hitting QTEs to get. They gotta hit QTEs every 5 seconds to get past all these rocks, because now the conversation for every time anything Xbox related is
When
this
is it
coming to
coming to
PS5?
PlayStation?
When is it coming to Nintendo? Oh, is this game eligible to go? They put this on those.
Yeah, they did.
And I don't even want to go into the whole multi-platform thing because like it's just too early. We can like we don't know if this could actually be the payout. This could pay off for them immensely. This could actually put them in first place. We would never know.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to get into the whole multiplayer thing.
Mhm.
But where we're standing as far as the future Xbox,
Yes.
because I have to talk about the past
All good.
to talk about the future.
Yes, sir.
2024, amazing lineup. I can't.
Undeniable.
Like,
It's a great lineup.
Yeah, their lineup for 2024, and this like that's not even including how good Game Pass has been
Already.
And that's not even including the games we already know are coming to Game Pass, like the Flintlocks and the 33 Immortals. I can't wait for that game. That game looks so sick.
Yeah.
Ayuden Chronicle that's about to come out next month. Stalker 2 at the end of the year in September.
Yup.
So these are like their lineup for 2024 is crazy. And I'm pretty sure their lineup for 2025 might even be crazier.
Yeah.
Because what I'm expecting for 2025 is Fable, Clockwork Revolution, Compulsion's Game, South of Midnight. Then, Gears 6 probably. Contraband, if that's still a thing, if that's happening.
Yeah.
If Contraband could be a 2025. We might even see Perfect Dark. You never know. We're gonna have to wait until June, but there's so much potential for 2025. And then if anything misses 2025, we definitely gonna see State of Decay 3, Perfect Dark. Who else am I missing? We definitely gonna see Double Fine's new game by then. We're gonna see a Double Fine game by then. We're gonna see
maybe even might see what Ninja Theory's second team is working on.
Yeah, Project Mara. We forgot about that. That's still in the works.
Yeah.
Obsidian, they said that they have at least one game ready to go for the next 7 years. Or 7? 5? I think they said 5. They have at least like 5
Outer
games.
World 2 or
so and so we only know about I don't know if they counted Grounded and Pentiment. They probably did count Pentiment. I don't know about Grounded though. But that leaves 2 games that we don't know about. That could still come out in these next 2 years. So as far as games, I'm not worried about the future Xbox.
Yeah.
Their games lineup, I feel like we will never see a 2022 level drought from Xbox again. Now, I could definitely eat crow because this is Xbox we're speaking of.
Yeah.
But especially when you add the ABK, it just feels like they will never have a drought ever again. And then I forgot about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like
Call of Duty.
That's happening this year. So it's not like when it comes to being a gamer who has an Xbox / PC, they're giving me everything I want because I love Game Pass.
Yep.
All of their games are on Game Pass, and I like the style of games that they make. They make games for me. Like, even though Hellblade would normally not be something I would play, I would probably not get Hellblade at launch. Maybe just as a graphical showcase, just to see what all I just want to see on my screen.
Yeah. But
that's literally the type of game that I just don't like because it's narrative, cinematic first, especially when you see the game, like you see the gameplay and it's still it just looks like it's just cinematics. Yeah. So I still don't I don't know how the game will actually play. Okay. And that I don't, because I loved Ninja Theory for games like Kung Fu Chaos
Okay.
and Enslaved Odyssey of the West. I think that was what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
DMC Devil May Cry.
Right. Yo.
Like these gameplay tight action, like melee action game. Heavenly Sword. And then when I played Hellblade, and I was like, okay, this isn't the Ninja Theory I love, but they did so many like cool ideas.
Yeah.
That I got engrossed because even then the combat wasn't really that bad.
No,
it was just basic.
Yeah.
And you did like the enemies were all basically the same. Like you didn't have to really switch up or like it didn't get progressed like the gameplay never like progressed.
Yeah.
It just felt like you were just doing the same thing with every fight.
Mm-hmm.
But
so where they did progress, I feel is like the moments they would put you in. Like, sorry for spoilers for Hellblade 1, but the one that sticks out to me is when you have to walk in like a dark, like it's really just like pitch black, and you just got to follow the light on the floor. Like that was intense in the fact that like you weren't fighting anyone, but still it's still gameplay focused. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like the way that they when I like narratives in games is when it's something you can only do with this. Uncharted and Last of Us could we saw the Last of Us show. It can work just as well as a show or a movie.
Yep.
As it could as a game.
Yep.
Something like Portal 2. Portal 2 worked because it was a video game. Because how would you do a Portal 2 movie? Like if you're not in first person, it's not gonna be as cool as it.
Yeah.
Or RPGs, I like having choices and consequences because that's something you don't get to have when you're watching a movie.
Yeah, or even reading a book or anything like
Black
that.
Black Mirror, like interactive stuff, but like nothing crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
So I love when the narrative is something you can own in a video game. That's where I want the narrative focus. That's why I love RPGs. I love Obsidian RPGs. I love Starfield. The Bethesda RPGs. Anything giving me choice and consequence, that's when I actually care about this because it's my story.
Yeah.
I feel more invested in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So Xbox, so Western RPGs especially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of NXL. I'm a big fan of Obsidian. I'm a big fan of Bethesda. When Xbox got the trifecta of Western RPGs, then they were like, "Hey, Playground Games, you making an RPG too?" I was like, "Hey, y'all, this is the Xbox I've been waiting for." So they're making the games that I want, and then they're offering it to me for free.
Yeah.
With my Game Pass subscription. You I love Nintendo, but as far as it goes, like last year Nintendo had like 13 games.
Yeah.
I only bought like 3 or 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you see, oh yeah, Nintendo had 13 games last year, I bragged about it all the time. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like Nintendo went hard that year. 2023, they were going crazy. This is their send-off year. And they dropped 13 games. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like Xbox and PlayStation could never. But the average person is not buying all 13 of those games.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to Game Pass though,
Yo.
even if I have just the slightest interest in a game, I'm gonna download it and I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that Xbox, it makes me care about games that I normally would not care about.
100%. 1000%.
So that's why I just love I've gained a love for Xbox over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Hellblade 2 would not be something that I would be buying day one. but I'm gonna play Hellblade 2 day one because of Game
Game
Pass.
Pass. Yep. Same.
So as far as games go, Xbox has the most enticing future, just because even if it's not the ooh, this is the Don game. This is the Don Otaku game for me. Like they made this for me. If it's like in a 50% window of that, I'm like, okay, that still looks exciting. Just like the third party showcase that they just had.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the Nintendo third party showcase, or when I see a bunch of multiplats in the PlayStation showcase, I'm taking points off. Yeah, this trash. 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm not playing like these aren't exclusive, so it's not bringing me to that platform. And they're like, is like even if the game looks good, I can play it on my Xbox, so it don't matter. Or I can play it on my PC, so it's not getting me into that ecosystem. But I saw the third party showcase for Xbox. I'm like, oh, the altars? That's gonna be in Game Pass. Ooh, I can't wait to play that. Oh, Kunitsugami? That's gonna be in Game Pass. I can't wait to play that.
I can't wait to try it out. Yeah.
Yeah. What Creatures of Ava? It look alright. I'm gonna play it. It's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like even with like it makes their showcase like that's why I love their showcases now. Because just see it play it day one with Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like at the end of it, you're just like, ooh. This game, like it makes a game go from like, oh yeah, this game is 7, boom. Oh yeah, my interest in this game just went up to an 8. Just like it adds a point to any game. Just say it.
Yeah, yeah. Those are easy wins for Microsoft or Xbox, I would say for sure. Because like you start looking forward to thinking like, oh, which one of these games will be on Game Pass, or if they ever do like, oh, everything in the showcase is on Game Pass. That'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
I love that one.
Yep.
That showcase was fire. So yeah, it just always comes down to their games. Like I said, nothing to worry about. It's just the future of the console that I'm more worried.
Mm-hmm.
The future of the console, the future of, and I don't mean like this generation or the next generation. I mean like that. Yeah, after the next generation, we don't know what's gonna happen. So I feel like the next generation console, I just don't see it being like, I don't see myself getting that excitement of, ooh, this is going to be Xbox's chance to like finally get to where PlayStation is inside the mindshare.
Yeah.
Just because of this whole multi-platform thing and them stepping on rakes at every turn. It's like eventually it all adds up to like in the people who don't own an Xbox. There's it like yes, the hardcore started the Xbox has no games, but it trickled down to the point where even people who don't even be in the Twitter console wars we're seeing like they were like, yeah, Xbox has no games. It's just been ingrained in culture.
Yeah.
Now, like no matter what kind of gamer you are, you just knew, oh yeah, Xbox has no games. I'm just gonna get a PlayStation.
Yeah.
And they keep letting this stuff happen. I keep hearing, like I literally was talking to a friend today who's like not one of my friends on the podcast, just someone who like games casually. And then he was like, yeah, bro, I heard that Xbox don't got like they're not doing exclusives and they're about to like stop making consoles. I'm like, who did you even hear that from? Like, where do you hear this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it keeps trickling down, and they keep allowing this to get into the mind share of like in every, no matter what kind of gamer, the mind. If you let the hardcore dictate the message, that message will always trickle down. Like it doesn't work. Like the hardcore can say, "Oh, yeah, Call of Duty's trash, 2K's trash. Y'all should stop buying 2K and Madden and FIFA and Call of Duty and buy Elden Ring instead. Yeah, that's not gonna work on the like that message will never. The whole the single player, the single player games are better than multiplayer. That message isn't gonna, because it's affecting something that the casuals care about already. No matter how many times you tell them Pokemon is trash, they gonna keep buying that Pokemon game the next year.
Mm-hmm.
But people already were indifferent at the very least to Xbox.
Yeah.
So when they hear something negative about Xbox, they're just gonna take it as the gospel.
Yeah, taking a run with it. Yeah.
Like, oh well, I mean, I either had a little interest in Xbox or I didn't care about Xbox. Like, oh, I just wanted to play Halo, but you said Halo's dead, and they don't got no games, and they gonna stop making consoles. Oh yeah. So
and
even when the new
PlayStation.
Halo's coming to PlayStation. Psh, why would I get an Xbox?
Yeah, exactly.
So then you get to the point when the new consoles are about to come out. Who's there to buy the Xbox besides the people who already have a Series X?
Yeah.
And even then, the people with Series X are also skeptical now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I just don't know. That's just, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
This, people could play Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation and Grounded and be like, man, these games are better than the PlayStation. I doubt that'll ever happen, but
yeah,
I just don't understand. Like, yeah, they might make a lot of money off of putting their games on PlayStation, but at what cost to the Xbox brand? And then if the Xbox dies because of this, or like the next generation, they can't even reach the Series X numbers of consoles, which were already lower than they wanted it to be. What's next? So, as far as the brand of Xbox, that's literally my concern.
Yeah. Yeah. It is concerning though, in my opinion. It's super concerning because like they dug themselves in a hole. Like, how are they gonna get out of this hole? Like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna just hope that Game Pass is gonna save them? Like.
But the Game Pass numbers are also not where they should be.
Exactly.
Which, another thing, why are they not marketing Game Pass like it's the second coming of Jesus? Why is Game Pass not in every single sports commercial? Why is Game Pass not at the Super Bowl? Why is Game Pass not everywhere? Game Pass should be on buses, should be in subways, it should be on the New York Times Square. Be like, hey, 100 plus games for the price of one. For just $15. 100 plus games.
Yeah.
Only on Xbox. And then be like, yeah, we got this. You know this game that you paid $60 for? We got it over here. This should be advertising everywhere. I should be seeing this in magazines. I should be seeing this in newspapers. I should be seeing Game Pass wherever I go. I should see Jimmy Fallon on the stage talking about Game Pass. And then like, yeah, the Roots. We were playing Game Pass the other day. Like, yeah, Game Pass, man, it's fire. I don't know. I don't watch Jimmy Fallon, but that seemed like something that would happen.
That's funny. Yeah, but counter that a little bit. How do you market Game Pass other than saying it brings you more value? Like how else do they market it? How else do they market Game Pass other than saying that it gives you value?
All right. So Starfield, we saw marketing for Starfield. The marketing for Starfield was pretty, like, they were going hard on it.
Yeah, they were.
A lot of those marketings did not put Game Pass with Starfield. Like, you saw Starfield, but you didn't see Game Pass attached to it. get these big indie when that comes out. Call of Duty. Like, I should not see a single Call of Duty ad that does not have Game Pass attached to it. I should see green and Game Pass and Xbox logos in every, like, you should see Xbox on the scope, a Call of Duty in the trailers, on the commercials, and then Game Pass at the end of every, like, don't even say Xbox.
Yeah, just put Game Pass.
Don't even put, scratch that. Don't put the Xbox. Just put the Game Pass, like, and then that's it. Like, Game Pass, what's that? Let me find out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because people are so used to seeing that PlayStation logo pop up. Yeah. But now, if you start seeing Game Pass every time and then so NBA 2K and NBA 2K just got added. Madden just got added. Start running commercials when these games get added. We got FIFA. Don't even say, like, you don't even gotta say we got the old. Just say we got FIFA, we got Madden, we got 2K, Game Pass. Just run a commercial with EA Sports. EA Sports and Game Pass.
So so pretty much market the games that are in Game Pass and then attach the words Game Pass to those games. Yeah, like I said earlier, their future is the most, like, undetermined. They can just change their plans at the drop of a fucking hat. Like they can just put Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment and all these games to PlayStation and not even bat an eye, you know? They don't even think about, like, the damage that it would do to their brand. Because even now, like, earlier today, I was just scrolling to Twitter, and apparently, like, Hi-Fi Rush's, like, shadows are a little bit sharper on the PlayStation version. And I was thinking, like you guys can't even, like, this is the fucking can of worms that they're opening by putting these games on the other platforms. If they even if little things, like if a little bit of shadows on some fucking like grates or whatever is, or on some crates or whatever is better, like, PlayStation fans, they'll run with it. They'll take that excuse and they'll shit on Xbox. Like,
exactly.
So it's just unfortunate. But yeah,
yeah.
You wanna move on to what we want them to do real quick?
Yeah, and I've basically already said this at the beginning of the show. I just want them to market better.
Yep.
Because the games, they're here.
Yes, sir.
And I want them to be aggressive.
Yeah.
I look, all of this they could have ended PlayStation at any time after buying ABK. They can't make Call of Duty exclusive, but they didn't say anything about Overwatch. Overwatch 3, guys, exclusive.
Yeah.
Minecraft 2, exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Elder Scrolls Online 2, exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Look, take all the games that people have been playing and be like, yeah, y'all can still play the older version, but we got the new stuff over here. And look, even if you can say, hey, Call of Duty, we can't make that exclusive, but Duty Calls. Duty Calls, our new IP by is Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward. They just made, they decided they wanted to make a new IP. It's called Duty Calls, and guess what? It's exclusive.
Mm-hmm. That's hella funny.
That's all they need. Like, they could end it at any. Yeah. If they really wanted to be the aggressive, they wanted to, like, PlayStation has been smacking them at every chance that they have. Whenever they were down, PlayStation was there to stomp them, to kick sand in their eyes.
Yep.
Like, there was never a time where PlayStation did not. They were the bullies at every turn. They were like, nope. Oh, what happened? Wait, they reacted like that to the DRM? Wait, we were about to do that. Take that out. Take it out right now. Hey, wait, we gotta make a video. This is how you share games.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bro, they didn't have to make that video, but guess what?
They're cutthroat.
Like it's PlayStation. This is how they got to the top from the PS1 era. Like they were Microsoft in the PS1 era. They had more money than anybody in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
They could buy anything they wanted. They bought their way to success. They were like, "Hey, Capcom, you ain't making nothing else for Sega or PlayStation. I mean, or Nintendo. You making games for us now. Hey, what's that over there? Namco. that look fire. You're not putting that on Dreamcast. That Tekken is ours.
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Look, Final Fantasy. Yeah, that 1 through 6 on Super Nintendo. We like that. But guess what?
It's ours.
That's
now.
ours now.
Yeah.
Oh, Psygnosis. They the biggest publisher in Europe. Guess what? That's ours now. It's SIE. This is SIE. Yeah. So Xbox,
they need to be more cutthroat. They need to be more.
That's all. They started buying stuff, but they're not utilizing it correctly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 when it comes out and it's exclusive. If
that
would have been a game changer. But by the time we get to that point, is it gonna be too late? And that's basically my Xbox. So like I said, I just want them to be cutthroat. I want them to actually fight. I don't want them to work to survive. Yeah. I want them to try to kill PlayStation. Because PlayStation is trying to kill Xbox.
Yeah. 100%.
They want to be Nintendo, but they're not at a Nintendo level to be Nintendo. Nintendo can be on an island by themselves chilling because they have all the fruits. They have like they grow their own. They have fresh water, like an infinite amount of fresh water. There's enough space for everyone. Everyone can live comfortably here. Like it's the perfect, like they have a perfect nation that doesn't need any external help. Xbox is literally they're basically America. The 1%, they got all the 1% money, and then everyone else is down here just struggling. Like, bro, like just give us some. Yeah. Y'all have everything. Why aren't y'all feeding us?
It's hella funny. But yeah, I agree with you. They need to. I want them to get their marketing in check. I kind of want them to take Nintendo's ideals as in like, if the third parties come, then they come, you know? If they don't come, then that it is what it is. But we want to develop our games and make our games the best as they can be. I want them to take that ideals, but I don't think they're gonna do that. Cause
they can't.
They can't, yeah.
They can't miss out on third party.
They can't miss out on third party, but it's still like I don't know. To me, it's kind of like I said, like I don't know how they would spin this, but it's like I said, like if they come, then they come. If they don't, then we still got good games. I want them to be in that position, but they're not Nintendo, like you said. Anyways.
Yeah, they're like people only go to Nintendo Switch for Nintendo games, and then being able to play Fortnite or Fall Guys. When you go to Xbox or PlayStation, the Call of Duties, the Fortnites, the Apexes are your main reason. GTA 6 is probably going to be the main reason to upgrade to a PS5 or Xbox Series X. Mm-hmm. And then they'll be like, oh, well, they got Spider-Man over here. I might as well play it. Oh, yeah, I forgot they had that new Halo. I mean, that was on Xbox One. But, oh, I forgot. Yeah, that Starfield. I heard some things about it. Let me check that out. Oh, that Indiana Jones. Yeah, might as well check that out after I beat GTA 6. So their first party are always the side order to the third party big game. Bro, even Hogwarts Legacy, lives than any of their first party games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not about the first party for them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And that was the future of the big three. I think we covered all of our bases in that one, I believe. So for every guest that I have on my show, I like to give them a segment. You can take as little or as long as you want on this. So go ahead, take it away, Don. You can consider this your segment.
I feel like I did my segment when I did the whole Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I was gonna save that for my segment.
Okay.
But you told me to go ahead, so
All
I'm
good.
gonna say that's my segment.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. We will get a little bit more into the Naughty Dog thing, because I do have that as one of my games. But all right, so we'll just go on to the next one. We'll try to do this a little bit more briskly. I'll go through my list a little bit more briskly. You can take your time. So we got the top 5 most influential games / franchises. Before I ask you, I'll rapid fire mine real quick. So my list is, this is in no particular order. I got Halo. If we're picking a game, I'm either going to say Halo Reach, contentious, but I'm also going to say Halo Infinite. The next one I got is Legend of Zelda. If it was up to me, it's Breath of the Wild, but Zelda 1 can't deny how influential that game is proven to be even now. I got the next series as Uncharted. My favorite ones are Uncharted 2 and 3. 4 is also good, but Uncharted kind of, like you said, it paved the way for like the narrative adventure. You know, kind of, it does put gameplay to the side, but it puts that, it's influential in the fact that every PlayStation game going forward is trying to kind of replicate what Uncharted did. Next one I got is Borderlands, the original looter shooter. It kind of took what Diablo did in the top-down perspective, put it in first person, gave you guns, and made it about guns. And then, from that, it spawned, like, Destiny and stuff like that. And then the last one I got the FromSoft games. It was hard for me to just pick one, but I put the Soulsborne games. The best ones, in my opinion, are Sekiro and Elden Ring. And honorable mentions, I got Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, and Pokemon. What you think about those?
I can't deny any of those.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually didn't prepare for this topic.
It's all good. We can go off the top.
So, influential games, I'm gonna say Dragon Quest, because it started with Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy came, and then many others.
Mm-hmm.
As far as my favorites in the franchise, I actually like 9 on the DS, and then 3, which I can't wait for the HD 2D remake of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see, most influential, Doom. Can't like FPS literally, and then I would probably say I never was really into the classic. 2016 is probably my favorite.
Okay.
Then of course, like Mario. Platformers, 3D platformers, any platformer, it's Mario. That's always been the basis for everybody. My favorite Mario games, 2D, Super Mario World. 3D,
Mm-hmm.
controversial, Super Mario 3D World.
Okay.
What is that, 3? Number 4, GoldenEye.
Ooh.
Just for like the console space, that's where the FPS really, like Halo, yeah. For the online aspect, for sure, I'm gonna say Halo, but GoldenEye made FPS on console viable, in my opinion.
Okay.
Let's see, number 5 most. Trying to think.
It's hard because there's a lot of influence in video games, especially like all the games that come out now are influenced by something previously. So like
Exactly.
influence is everywhere. Last of Us.
I'll go ahead and
I'm just kidding.
I'll just go ahead and throw Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 2 and the remake are my favorites in the series.
Yeah. No, that's a good one because the remakes are kind of like ideally how people want games to be remade. Like still sticking to the formula but advancing on the gameplay. So yeah, no, those are great. Yeah.
And I actually love RE5. That's probably my second favorite.
Oh, shout out to the co-op in that game.
Bro, if you throw co-op in it,
it's good.
Except for 86. But RE5, perfect. One of the best co-op games ever.
Yeah. It's a great list. You got any honorable mentions or?
Zelda, that's a good one for sure. Let's see. Tetris,
yeah.
Tetris, influential. Literally every puzzle game ever made.
Yup.
Monkey Island.
Okay. Adventure
Point and click
games.
adventures.
Yup.
At least I don't even know if that started it, or I don't know if that was the big boom of it, but I remember playing Monkey Island to point and click.
Mm-hmm. Point and click.
I'm old, by the way, if you haven't noticed.
You're good, bro. we're not ageist around here, man. We're as long you know, I said this to, I don't know if you've seen my YouTube channel, but I said this to Ben. I had Ben Smith on. I said this to Sean Mason. But, you know, it doesn't matter how we align our like interests as in consoles. At the end of the day, we're gamers. We all pick up controllers that have the same amount of buttons, unless you're on keyboard and mouse. And you know, that's kind of what binds us all together, you know, as gamers. Like that, like we're all more similar than we are apart because we play video games.
But then once you're too similar, you have to find differences and attack those differences.
That is true. 100%. I agree.
That's how it works every time.
Yes, sir. Yes, are you happy with your list of games?
Yeah, that's a good list.
For sure. So the last segment I have, and I think this might be my longest episode ever, which is fucking amazing. I love that. I got to my longest episode on episode 30. I love it. All right.
Yeah, I talk too much.
No, bro, it's good. I love it because, like I said, in my real life, I don't have people around me that are as into games as I am. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take this chance and I'm going to run with it because I've been having a great conversation. But we finally got to what we have been playing. I'll let you take the floor. What have you been playing, my friend?
Unicorn Overlord.
Okay.
All right. Let me break it down.
Yes, sir.
Fire Emblem. Top 5 Nintendo franchises for me. Unicorn Overlord takes all the best elements of Fire Emblem besides the baby making, because that's the best part of Fire Emblem in the Awakening and Fates games. But they take all the best parts of Fire Emblem and just upgrades it in every way. Now, I love Fire Emblem. Unicorn Overlord would be the number one Fire Emblem if it was in the franchise.
Oh, wow. You like it that much?
That much.
Whew.
The Vanillaware art style, still amazing. Still just gorgeous. Character model, like the character art, their character design, amazing. Great waifus. Can never get enough. Now, I still feel like Fire Emblem still got an actual like food material, but you know, Unicorn Overlord is up there with them. This is only their first iteration.
Okay. How long are you in the game?
almost 70 hours. I was at like
Okay.
68 the last time I saved,
Yeah.
and I think I'm like 3/4 done.
Okay.
So pretty long if you do all the side quests. I did.
Okay. You did the side quest.
Yeah, I'm definitely a do everything before going to the main mission type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's open world.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like yeah, it's open world, so you can. I wasn't like I really didn't know. Besides, it's vanillaware.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Like gameplay wise, and it has like a little. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it off that strength.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I started playing it, it's open world. Like you just walk around doing like collecting and getting secrets, completing overworld quests, side quests, going into different side battles that happen. And you're finding like hidden people who have like crazy items that you can't find in the other. And yeah, it's like a whole open world game. And then when you get into the battles, you got the whole real time like strategy RPG type deal going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an amazing game. Highly recommend it for anyone, especially Fire Emblem fans, but for anyone RPG.
Mm.
Other than that, I've just been rushing through that just so I have my time to play Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
So I've been full force in there, and then every now and then, girl. That's basically been it.
Fire. So it's Unicorn Overlord until Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yep.
Fire. Yeah, I was before we started, I was reading I watched a little bit of ACG or listened to a little bit of ACG's review cuz I don't like spoiling games for myself, so I try not to look for gameplays and trailers and stuff. I really only look at gameplays and trailers if it's in like the showcases. Other than that, I try to stay away. I listened to his review like halfway through, and then I read a little bit of Jez's review. I was almost done with his, but yeah, I'm super excited for that game too. I am deciding to wait a little bit on it. I am gonna get it on PC. I'm deciding to wait a little bit because I already got Rise of the Ronin preloaded on my console. I'm a sucker for that Japanese setting. So I'm gonna play it regardless of how it looks, which to me honestly doesn't look too bad. It definitely does look like a PS4 game, but
yeah, Rise of the Ronin. If it came out on any other date, I would have probably got it.
Yeah, same. So I mean, I am gonna play it, but I really do want to play Dragon's Dogma, and I'm gonna have that on my list for sure. But yeah, I just want to say that I am interested in it, and cool note, it has DLSS at launch, so you don't gotta wait for it to get patched in later. DLSS on PC, on the Xbox, I think it averages between 35. I think Jez said it was
around 40.
Yeah, it Jez said it.
And
like,
then with VRR, you should be pretty smooth at least.
Yeah, it should be okay with VRR. On the Xbox version, I've seen that there's a little differences here and there, but overall, it seems like an okay port to the Xbox. It seems like it's pretty across the board. It's I wouldn't say stable, but I would say it's similar. But yeah, I'm gonna be on PC on that one too. What about you? You gonna be on PC?
Oh yeah, already pre-ordered on Steam.
Oh, fire, man! I want to be there day one, but I got to be a little bit disciplined in my games. I can't, because if I just start playing like a bunch of games, then I do just tend to drop games really like quickly. Like if I were to play like Rebirth, because I'm still on that, Prince of Persia, because I'm still on that, Rise of the Ronin, I'm gonna play that, and if I were to get Dragon's Dogma, I know at least 2 of the games will suffer. I don't know which one of the 2 out of those 4, but I know I would put down one for another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just let it happen. Like the mind wants what the mind wants.
Yeah.
If I have to drop the game. that's just how it has to be.
Yep. But as for the games that I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I am around 35 hours into the game. I'm on chapter 7. I have 42% of the trophies. It's good. I have some gripes. Like I said earlier, they do pad the game out a little bit. It seems like the main point that I want to say is it seems like every 2 or 3 hours of gameplay, like, you know, open world, fighting and all that, they will throw you like 30 minutes or an hour worth of mini games. So it's like,
yeah, I've been hearing that.
It's like they just, it just takes me out of it every time they do that. Like, I'm only on chapter 7. They've done that 2 or 3 times at this point. So it's kind of like it's sort of taking me out of the experience. It is padding the game out to be longer than what it is. But I do like the open world stuff. I would say that stuff is varied. But yeah, it's good. I am playing on the 30 FPS mode, which is the trade-off that I am willing to accept at this point, for the PlayStation and the Xbox. Next game, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I am 43% in the game. Yeah, it's so good, dude. The platforming is so fun. It's so smooth. I love it. That was
the first game I beat this year.
Oh yeah, fire. Yeah, you did recommend it on your show. So, and also Ben, when he was on my show, he recommended it as well. So, you know, it's I love 2D platforming. So anytime I can get 2D platforming with some great action, I love it. I just defeated the fucking snake boss. I forgot the name of the boss, but they give you the double jump power, and I've been having a ton of fun with that. Great game. And also, side note, story, not bad. It's
story is actually really good.
Yeah, story's
pretty... I didn't like the ending, but everything up until then was good.
Yeah, it's
and then the anime references and the anime, like when you're in those fights, when they start doing those anime power ups.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fire. Yeah, like, and the parries too, when you get like the parries on like the orange flashing melee attacks or whatever. Those animations, I know one of them is like straight out of like the Storm games with Kakashi, original. Where I don't know if yeah, I was gonna say the Dragon Ball one too, but it's kind of like, I don't know if you played the Storm games, but Kakashi has his ultimate where he hits people with his like lightning blade or whatever, and it like zaps them around and they slams down. That shit was like straight out of Storm. And then I'll go on.
I was gonna say the first parry that you do, like when they do the tutorial and they like teach you how to parry, that animation where he like jumps over the head and it slices.
Yeah, that's
literally the attacks that you do in Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Because that was like the main mechanic, is that you evade enemies by jumping over their and then like hitting them in the back in the air.
That's fire.
So they literally took that from that, and that was when I was like, this game right here. Yeah, they know it. Like, that was fire.
Yeah, they're cooking.
When I saw the reference.
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm like, damn, they're cooking on all levels here. The story is good. The fucking platforming is good. The combat is, even though it's simple, it's still like, you know, you can do air combos, you can dash, you can fucking slam enemies to the ground, you can slam yourself to the ground. Like, they just give you a lot of ways to just play that game, whether it comes to platforming or combat. You know, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving
Ubisoft it. Ubisoft really hit it out the park with that one.
For sure. Yeah.
I just wish the sales reflected the quality of the game.
Yeah, I think that might be like a slow burn for them, maybe. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, Prince of Persia, a little bit less than halfway, but I'm getting there. And it's also good that I have that game because it's completely different from, like, you know, Dragon's Dogma or Rise of the Ronin and Rebirth. Like, it's a completely different type of game, so it's perfect. Fits that little niche. Another one I've been playing just a little bit, dabbling in Tekken 8. Just trying to find my main character. I've narrowed it down to one player named Shaheen. I kind of like that he's like a close quarters kind of brawler type of character. I'm appreciating that. So less than 2 hours in that game, but I've been dabbling. I've been just trying to find my character. Last, just a bunch of multiplayer games. I've been playing the finals. Like you mentioned, they added the sports games to Game Pass. I've been playing 2K, Madden, and MLB The Show for that casual sports fun. And that's all I've been playing.
I actually did hop on the finals for a little bit.
Yeah. What you think of it?
The new mechanics and new stages were pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't like that since I played it, they nerfed my sawed-off shotgun that I used to play with the light.
Yeah, that's on the light, right? It's on the light class.
Yeah.
They what they need to nerf is they need to nerf that invisible fucking ability, and they need to nerf them fucking sword melees. That's what they need to nerf. Cause those dudes be running up on me and killing me.
I guess I just have like been trained by all these camouflages in Halo games. I see that outline from a mile away.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I see you. Like, I don't even be using my vanishing because I'm like, bro, I see them, so I just expect other people like that they're gonna see me.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like they be trying to run up on me with that little.
Yeah. They get me because I don't be expecting them. I don't look for it, but you know, as long, like you said, as long as you look for it, you should be fine. Yeah, that's all I've been playing. Are you gonna check out MLB The Show? You a baseball head in any way?
Probably not.
I'll say it's easy
really,
achievements. You get super easy achievements in that game. So if you ever want a quick 1,000 Gs, download MLB The Show. All right.
Yeah, I'm not really a baseball fan, but I will play. I just wish it was on PC because I'm usually not gonna. My Xbox is in the other room, and I'm usually not in there. Mm-hmm. So I just wish that it was on PC. I'd probably play it. Same with 2K.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I would say in MLB The Show, they made the pitching a little bit harder, especially if you use Pinpoint, because that's the one that I use. I don't know if you've played any of the other MLB games, but Pinpoint pitching is like you kind of draw the circle of so you pick a pitch with one of the face buttons, and it gives you like a motion to draw with your right joystick. So
I've played the other MLB The Show, so I kind of remember the mechanics of it.
Yeah. But this year they made all like the secondary and tertiary pitches. They made them way like the motion. They made them super complicated. So it's not just like quarter circles and half circles. It's kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it. I just know that they made it harder to pitch. But pitching is a little bit tougher in the game. But I think that's good because people were dotting last year in Diamond Dynasty and shit. So yeah, they made it a little bit tougher. But yeah, that was my list of games, Don. And I believe that takes us to the outro of the show. How did you like your time here on Subeg's Garden?
Oh, bro, it was amazing.
Oh man,
it's great to speak with non-casual, as you know my panel.
Yeah.
But yes, it was an amazing time. You look, not having to host and like having everything done, and I get to just talk. Like I get to just do the talking without having to. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, are we getting to all of the? Yeah, definitely. I love being a guest.
Awesome.
This is amazing.
Bro, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show, my friend. For the audience, if you want to follow my friend here, where can they find you?
So y'all can find me on youtube.com. I don't even know how it works. You can find me on as Don The Otaku on youtube.com.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what the slash bad. I wasn't ready for this. But you can also find me on x.com/pastafeet.
Okay.
FE3T.
Yes, sir.
If you want to see me like talk about fanboy stuff. Fun. And then I don't know. I don't even know what I'll be talking about. Just random stuff.
You got a podcast. Plug your podcast, my friend.
Yeah, podcast, Project Untitled Gaming Pod.
Yep.
Working title.
Oh, okay.
Just had our 10th episode the other day, and you can find us at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, every Saturday. So yeah.
Fire.
If you're on the West Coast, that's 3 p.m. Wait.
No, it's
if you're on the West
earlier.
Coast, that's 10 p.m.
It's earlier.
10 p.m. I always get that mixed up.
All good. And then of course I'll write your socials and stuff in the description of the episode. So if you guys want to follow Don over here, I got you covered. And yeah, go check them out on YouTube. I'll say this side note though. You guys never fail to make me laugh. Like your show, especially when you guys just start like arguing a little bit, it's like you guys just like go off on like a little bit of a tangent, and I just find it so entertaining. It's
I try to keep everything under control. It's nothing but troublemakers in there. No. Those are my day ones since some of them since middle school, some of them
high school,
and yeah, it's like we can't. This is like what we do every day in a day. Even like when we're not podcasting, of us just arguing for nothing.
Yeah.
Arguing about everything.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the great thing about the show is you got a lot of different opinions on there. You got people that are, Xbox fans. You got people that are PlayStation fans. And then, I don't know if anyone else is on PC, but I know you're also on PC too. So you got your basics.
We got our resident PC master race. We got our casuals who we got our resident Call of Duty only casual. We have the widest range of casual to hard out in the panel. So check us out if you want to hear how the casuals really think. That's how I really be knowing like how people react to the news that we hear as a hardcore gamer.
Yeah. Fire. Yep. Check them out. And for the audience, thank you so much for getting this far in this episode. This is my longest episode ever. So shout out to Don for joining in. I loved our conversation that we had. And check me out on Patreon, on YouTube, all of that as youtube.com/Subagels, patreon.com/Subagels. I Twitch stream here and there. It's really just on the side for fun. But yeah, that was the episode. All right, Don, thank you for coming in. Any last words?
Hey man, everyone go play Unicorn Overlord. That's young. I don't want that game to fail. We need more of that. Go play Unicorn Overlord. It's on everything except PC for some reason.
It's not on PC?
No.
What? Okay. Anyways, yeah, go play Unicorn Overlord. Yep, that shit's fire. And thank you, everyone. Peace out.
Peace.